entombed for 3,000 years, wrath growing in me. I have lived an eternity, suspended in darkness. Release me. Condemned and bound, the sands of time have run out. Curse fills the room, curiously open my tomb. Rising from the cradle of death, my sentence has come to an end. Release me, release me, wasting and rotting. Release me, release me. My curse is your curse, death is the gift I bring. Revenge in my hands, I feel no remorse. This is the mummy's corpse. Release me, release me, wasting and rotting. Release me. Catching a reflection in the mirror of something standing in the corner of my room, watching me, observing me. Is it my imagination or insanity? A strange hum, a flash of light. I'm overcome, nothing but fright. Otherworldly beings taking me in the night. I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. What do I do? What do I do? Where are they taking me? Where are they taking me? I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. I don't feel real. I wake up in my bed. Was it just in my head? Looking at my hand, there's something there. Inside of me, I'm feeling oh so scared. Confusion and nasty fear. It wasn't just a nightmare. So loud, so bright, hypnotizing me, figures lost in time. I'm tortured, surrounding me tonight. I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. What do I do?
unspeakable crime, murder at midnight. A deal I made, a life I had to take. Someone I loved once held so tight. The screams will follow me, cries of my ancestors said, go away. My offering, fasting in grain, shape-shifting. I feel the animal high by me. I feel the change. I feel the change coming. We are one but not the same. This form I desire, innocent blood I will devour. Ancestors gathering round the dwelling, the spirit inhabiting, evil enveloping, the dancing graves in the night, the spirit occupying and transforming, stolen heights, dark practices, my secret life, feathered outers, mysticism, intriguing, my offering, fasting in grain, shape-shifting. I feel the animal high by me. I feel the change. I feel the change coming. We are one but not the same. Give me the ability to hide in plain sight, so no one can see me, not even in the light. I am the crawler, I'm a within, I'm nobody's friend. This initiation is all part of the dark creation. My desires performing incantations. I walk in disguise. If I catch you, it's your demise. Shamanism, my religion, summoning spirits, manifesting myself and changing my flesh. A nightmare to behold. I'ma make you part of the fold. The skin of a man, the soul of a predator. The change is complete. This thing I become, my flesh has succumbed. My offering, fasting in grain, shape-shifting. I feel the animal high by me. I feel the change. I feel the change coming. We are one but not the same.
Who's holding my hand in the darkness? Seeing ghosts down the hallway. There's a presence bed.
All right, folks. Paranormal Roundtable.
Cloaked and haunted.
Sorry for getting in late today. We had a lot going on. And with everything going on, I felt like I needed to go to the gym and just bust ass and just do something. So, Miguel, get it. Miggy Smalls. What is that? Who's Miggy? Who's Miggy Small? I heard of Biggie. I heard if you say his name in the mirror, he shows up. But I've never heard of Miggy.
Shows up and cleans out your fridge.
Yeah, he shows up and just eats up a bunch of stuff. I eat up all your crackers and your licorice. That's actually Humpty Hump, but still. Mm-hmm. They probably both would do it.
All the cold cuts.
I want to publicly thank Liberty for, I sent him a message thanking him for the nice gifts, the wonderful gifts and the things that he sent us. And thank you.
He's awesome.
Yeah, his name is Tim. Great guy. Thank you to everybody who's sent us gifts. Everybody who's, it's not forgotten. There's not, I don't always have time to publicly or personally thank everyone for all the gifts and nice things that people give us and do for us. And those are people that truly appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them.
Susie J goes another one. She sent us personalized gifts.
Very nice
That was
people.
really cool.
Wonderful people doing. And if you can't afford to send us something or give us money, whatever, that's fine. Be a hater. We don't care.
Or be here with us and be a lover.
Yeah, we'll suffer in silence. F that. Send us stuff. Do it now. Now. Right now. Come on.
Wolf's only starving, can't you tell?
Can't you see this?
Someone get this man a burger now. He needs it. He's about
What
to
I had
starve
earlier
to death.
wasn't enough.
He's one meal away from malnutrition.
I've never gone more than 3 hours without eating.
Yeah. He's not used to it.
But in my defense, I do have very large muscles too. At least I'm not one of those fat guys that can't even do a pull down. Like they did the tricep
Yeah.
pull down. One and they're like, I'm hurting. I'm hurting. I'm not one of those guys. I know somebody who can't even do one. I can literally that same. And Anthony, you can attest to this. What was the most I did on that one? On that pull down, the most reps.
120.
120. But I'll be honest. It wasn't 90 pounds. It was 70. So I did it with 70 because I was in there and I was so tired, and I decided to switch it up. Now, granted, it was only my third or fourth exercise. I was doing the rope pull down. And it was like my third or fourth exercise, and I wanted to do something different. And so I was so groggy, bleary-eyed, and it was me and Anthony were both dog-tired. And we still managed to get in there. And I was doing the pull-down, and I was like thinking, oh, this is kind of light. And I looked down, and for whatever reason, whichever gym you go to, there's different. They're all different. Mm-hmm. And so we were at the Big Tex, and it was, how they have that one that's like kind of cool and not as rickety.
Yeah.
And then they have that's the one where you walk down off the steps and there's to the left. Mm-hmm. And then they have the one up at the top where it's red, the red one, where it kind of moves around. I hate that one. But it gives it another dimension. You got to focus on
you have to stabilize
it, yeah. So I realized I was doing it pretty easily, and it was stabilized. So I got to like 40 reps. Sometimes I'll do a lot. I did today. I did like a lot of reps. And it got to 40, and I thought, I could just keep going. And I was super proud of myself. I got to 90, and I was like, I'm just going to keep going. And then I looked down, and it's on 70 pounds. So I was so groggy, and I was like, man. So if you go in there and you do it 90, we should take a video, and that should be the next one, and see how many times I could do that.
I mean, 120 reps within any way.
I felt like my arms were going to fall off.
Like that.
It's not easy.
That's like a searing pain in your arms. You have to be ready for that crap.
Same movement.
And you know what it did? You know what it did? The rest of the workout, I felt it. Mm-hmm. Like when I was doing the bench, I was like, oh my gosh. So I wouldn't recommend doing that toward the beginning of your workout.
It's a lot of lactic acid immediately.
Going in really tired. So today I go in, and we were at the Purple Gym. Mm-hmm. That's what Nelly calls the Purple Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
And it was like a concert in there.
Oh, dude.
It was like a rock concert.
Yeah.
I was like, who's playing? Who's here? Thank you for that donation, Cynthia. Somebody else donated too. Who do we miss? Shade Viking, Nathan Burr. Thank you for that donation. Appreciate everybody donating. And thank you for bearing with us. We got in late. I was having bad anxiety. I'm so worried because we're trying to get this deal done so we could get the house, so we could get moved in. And also, we're in the process of trying to get another big contract. And so there's a lot going on in my world. So Austrian Death Machine, Dustin Dante, one more rep, awesome workout tunes. Cool. Thank you for that. That's a cool band. Thank you for that. We're going to get in there and listen to that. But so I was in there working out, and I heard there were these two young guys in there. They were bagging on their friend.
Yeah.
And he had arms like Tony. And he was just
Well, then rightfully
and
so.
he was crying, and they were like, dude, come on. Literally, they were like, one more rep. And he's like, I can't. And so I just turned around and I said something to him. I was like, dude, do you want to get a girlfriend or not? Because I hear you talking about some girl. You can hear them talking,
Mm-hmm.
And their friends were like, exactly, dude. She's not going to want your little, and to get what he said, he goes, your little noodle. And I said, dude, oh boy, wow, bombardier on that one. Look at Tony, look, Panda Tony.
That's why he's wearing that shirt.
He's working out right now, folks. He's doing the claymation workout. It's where he rubs clay in his hands.
Yes, these are his kettlebells right here. They're pretty heavy for him, so he's working his way up. These are about I don't know, like 1-2 ounces a piece. So he's making some progress.
Spilling tea. I hope you're feeling better today, sugar bitches. I see you. Miguel says noodles. Should we just call him Noodles, or should it be literally noodle arms? Well, Maddie, you're little. She says that's more than you can live. That's because you're a small, diminutive female. Tony is a guy. He's a real guy. Sounds like Stand By Me. Was it that the movie? Mm-hmm. Was it called Stand By Me?
I never saw Stand By Me.
Where somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Where it was Corey Feldman and River Phoenix. Was it Stand By Me? I want to say Stand By Me. It was something like that. Somebody tell me. There were 4 kids, and they went running around, and they were like, look, they were going to see a dead body that was by the train tracks,
mm-hmm.
which is pretty ridiculous. Like if the county knew that there was a dead body out there, why didn't they do something about it? They just left it there, and so kids can go and find it and look at it.
They don't want to do the paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird.
I mean, it's pretty believable to me. Police department's pretty
Our
confident.
father's child says, "Stand by me." Yeah, stand by me. Okay. So he's like, they were arguing about super. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. You guys, younger guys, you probably don't. Younger gals too. Go watch it. And they were arguing on the way to see the dead body. It was this long trek, right? And they were like arguing over who was stronger or tougher, Mighty Mouse or Superman. And they were like, Superman's a real guy. Mighty Mouse is a cartoon. That would be Tony. Tony would be, not a real guy. He's a Japanime character.
Yeah.
So he could be like One Piece, the guy from One Piece, the rubber dude.
Yeah, the anime characters get pretty ridiculously strong.
Yeah. What's his name? Luffy De Monkey? That's you. We're start calling
it, or
Luffy.
is it Monkey D. Luffy?
Monkey De Luffy.
Something.
We just call him Luffy.
Yeah.
Because he has rubbery arms. He can kick people's butt because you can't really get hurt.
He's that dude from Adventure Time.
But he's a pirate that he sails, but if he gets into the water, he drowns.
Yeah.
Not a very good. I would choose a different career path if I was that dude. I'd be like, wait, I'm on the water. If I fall overboard, I'm dead.
Well, he relishes the danger.
Apparently, the whole world in One Piece is they're just. What are they? They're like pirates, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just like.
And I'm not talking about the live action. I'm talking about
the cartoon.
Stefan turned us on.
Yeah.
So you're not going to believe this. I got well, you probably will because it's crazy. But so we get the vampire story last night from Chado, and then today I got 2.
Yeah, it always happens that way. You talk about something on the show, and then we'll get like an influx of emails about it saying, "Hey, last night you had so and so on the show with this experience. I had the same kind of thing. Here's what happened to me."
So put the link in there so we can get, if she's still up for it, Frances in here. We're going to see if she wants to come on.
Okay.
I can't find her freaking email. She sent it. I saw it. There it is. Because if not, she says she's watching. Okay, so if you want to hit that link, did you put the link on there?
I have to send it to her privately.
Okay. Can we send it over a text? Because I don't.
Yeah. Hang on, I can send it to your Facebook. And you can send it to her.
All right.
Are you talking to her on Facebook or what?
No,
Okay.
I don't have the Facebook.
You can copy and paste it to her in your text. So just copy and paste it in that message that was just sent to me from your Facebook.
Okay, there it is. All right. My back. I didn't get to use the one thing that I really like about Planet Fitness.
The waterbed.
Yeah. I do my legs over at Big Tex because you can do more for your legs. And my legs are starting to outpace my upper body a little bit. I was looking at myself today. I was like, dang. That home workout I started doing with those lunges, that's no joke.
Mm-hmm.
I used to look at women and go, yeah, what is that? I'm doing squats. And I started doing them and I'm like, holy.
Yeah, lunges suck.
Well, you did football though. You know
Yeah,
how
I know,
dangerous.
but I mean, a lot of women do them at the gym, and it's just like they'll do that one leg, and then they'll do that. So I started doing that at home about 4 years ago, and it really. I was only doing the squat thrusts and then the leg kicks, the front and sideways leg kicks, but then I started doing those lunges. Oh boy, it's rough.
Okay, so one of the limitations of Streamlabs is that whenever Frances comes on, she's only going to be able to see your camera.
Okay.
I mean, like the guests can still see us whenever we do the transitions, but Frances is only going to see you. I don't know why they do it like that, but whatever.
My shirt. Choking hazard. I predict that's what the Mariners are going to do. I think the Astros are going to catch them. And the Mariners will do what they always do. They will be runners up and choke.
You think the Astros are going to catch up?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're catching up.
Yeah,
That's what
They
they're
were like
doing right
8,
now?
9 games back. Now they're like 3 or 4. They're about to be at 500. I was talking to a guy at the gym. I had the Astros shirt on. He was from Houston. And he was like, what do you think? I said, I think we can do it.
I think they scored 2.
I don't think
in
they'll win the
first
World Series, but we'll get probably somewhere. We'll do something. We'll make the playoffs. I mean, they don't have to. They've already proven. I mean, they're a dynasty, but they're not going to just go down like no punks.
Don't forget the headphones whenever Frances joins us.
Why is there 2 screens?
Because we're going to transition to this other one whenever Frances comes on. That way they can see her and you. The audience can see both of you.
So we can't use y'all's screens, but what you're saying?
Well, like the audience will see both screens, but Frances won't.
Okay. Well, what about me? Can I see it?
Yeah.
We're almost at 36,000, folks. She said it's not working. Let's see if we can get it going through. Here, use my phone and talk to her, and then see if you can get it going through Facebook. So it's just, if you have a Facebook account, Frances. In the meantime, this is weird. This is really weird. What I'm looking at, folks, you don't see what I'm looking at, but I can't. It's weird.
Oh, here, hang on.
It's bizarre.
There you go.
Okay. Let's see. There's Tony playing with clay. All right. So she has some Dogman encounters that she wants to talk about, and then I had a whole show planned, but from the call-in show last night, and there's a whole.
We had quite a few.
Yeah, but there was people we couldn't
get to.
I mean, the queue was double road. So. Thank you for that, Sugar Bitches. She's saying that we are very close. We are. We're very close. We're going to be... Is it working?
I'm just waiting for a response.
Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah.
I could get into a story. I'm tempted to start to start talking because this is Sunday and I got some stuff to talk about. But I tell you what, I could just hold off and I could wait until we could do the recording tonight and do it for Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
The Left Prime is like story time. You mean people don't come here for drama and arguing?
You mean people have like kids and grandkids and bills to pay and jobs and obligations they have to meet,
Wow.
and with the limited time they have, they want to be they want to hear about things they're actually interested in? No way.
Huh.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
That's my uncle.
They came here to hear what's going on in the latest drama.
Huh.
Drama don't help us, dude. So if it helps you, then that's good for you. You do it your way. You do what you got to do. Let me let you tell it.
Mickey G summed it up good. She says stories and friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think maybe Francis is in now, but for some reason it's not showing. Hang on. Okay, so let me see if we can transition over. I think she might have her okay. Yeah.
So-
Okay.
so
okay. I got it.
Why
Showing
did we
screen.
use Streamlabs today?
We have to.
No, we don't. We could have used what's the other one?
Yeah, but I didn't know that we were going to bring a guest on, so I just did
I
StreamYard.
said it yesterday on the show.
Streamlabs.
You were right there on the show.
I could have sworn
It's been a whole day.
I could have sworn it was Monday that we were going to bring her on.
It's been a day.
Okay, so let me transition over, and I think Francis is with us. You got to put your headphones in to hear her.
I will say this: Anthony did look very peaked after the workout. I was kind of worried. I'm not even joking.
Okay, so
Like,
I
you
think
overdid it.
I think Francis might have her camera off, which is fine, but hang on.
Where's my phone?
I got it. Hang on.
And we apologize too. Besides, we were trying to get a site covered too, because somebody called off. That's one thing to call off. When you got to be at work at 8 and you call off at 6.
So Francis, are you with us right now?
It sucks.
Oh,
We can hear
yes.
you. We can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay. So can everybody hear Francis?
I don't hear them saying anything.
Well,
They're
you're not
not
going
replying. Anthony, I don't think you got this set up.
They're like Scorpion.
to.
You
Okay.
know,
So,
they don't
okay.
answer.
So they can't hear her. Let me see.
Can you talk a little more, Francis?
Hang
Make
on.
sure.
Microphone, webcam.
They're like, cannot hear her. Cannot hear her.
Oh, hang on, let me put
nope,
the- okay.
Nope, no.
Should have just used StreamYard.
Okay. Can you give us a mic check, Francis?
Why does he do these things to us?
He was there yesterday.
Collab cam. Yeah, we can hear you. I don't know
We can
why.
hear you.
Yeah, we're waiting for the audience to be able to hear you.
I'll just repeat everything you say. Now she's laughing. She said that's going to be very boring.
No. Okay.
Don't tell us it's going to be boring. That's
That was a long, awkward silence.
more laughter. More laughter. He
It's a
says,
play-by-play.
Play-by-play. Yeah, I know, I'm apologizing now because I don't know why he did this.
I thought she.
Why does this man
I thought
do
she was
such
coming
things?
in on Monday.
No, she was definitely coming in Sunday.
Monday is going to be tomorrow. That's going to be the guy from Sweden, and it's more Dogman stuff. Tuesday is more Dogman stuff. This is Dogman week coming
This is
up.
what we have to work with, people.
Yeah, I figure it's Independence Dogman, okay? That's
Tony,
what
you
we're
don't
doing.
even know how to work anything on this live stream, so just be quiet.
I would at least do it correctly.
Hey, let's be quiet because I don't know. I know more than you, but
Yeah.
he knows like more than all of us. Tony could learn it though. He just works a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
He ain't a player. He just works a lot.
Okay, so let's try this. Hang on.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We're just trying to get the.
We just don't know why he chose to do this.
Could people hear you?
Why would today be Monday?
Okay, so can you give us a quick mic? Oh, what is that?
Check.
Holy crap! What was that?
I don't know. Somebody was saying check. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
What was that? The devil. The devil himself has decided to try and stop us.
Okay, you know.
Oh, they heard that. That's great.
Do you have Wolf?
EVP, see?
Do you have Wolf added on Facebook, Francis?
Uh-oh.
Okay. So if you send him a friend request, then we can just do this through Facebook Messenger, and it'll be a lot easier. Because I don't know why your audio isn't coming through for the audience here. Oh no.
Thank you for that donation.
Oh, hang on. You know what?
Yeah, we can't because the dummy over here decided to go through Streamlabs instead of StreamYard, which I have no clue what he was thinking. So yeah, we'd have to kill the stream and then completely start over. We're already.
Okay, can you hear her now? Okay, they heard her for a second. Can you give us a quick mic check?
Mic check. Mic check.
I heard her say something for a second. Okay, so they can hear her now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. All right.
All right, it's all good now.
So, all right.
1,000 years, long ago in the future. There we
So,
go.
how do you want me to start? How I remember it, or the stuff that led up to it?
Just remember it and scare us.
Oh, okay. We were very young. I lived in a place at the time, Golden Valley, Minnesota.
Leave my phone.
And there were two sets of railroad tracks that would intersect, but they ran parallel as well. So it was like 3 sets of tracks. They would intersect with one another. And I had this habit of, as a kid, just going out in nature and enjoying nature and the fields that were around us at the time. And my first time I noticed something was strange was that I was with 2 of my friends, and they were 2 boys. We were in elementary school, and we would throw rocks into the cattails.
Mm-hmm.
And the rocks I think the most scariest part was when one day we were throwing them, and the same rock that one of the boys threw came back. And we all just kind of stared, and he took off running. He was immediately scared.
How old
And
were you?
We were probably about the age of like 6. No, hold on, I'm trying to remember a date. Probably the age of 9. I'd say around 9. And he took off running, and I was stuck with this other boy, and we were just kind of staring at this rock, and we just thought it was kind of weird that it came out of the cattails, back from the cattails, and didn't scare me at first until another one came out of the cattails, and at that point, both of us split ways, and I ran in the house because that was just such a weird experience. Okay, fast forward, I'm probably about like 13, and I went up, there's a bridge, and you can look it up. It's in Golden Valley off of Glenwood Avenue. There was a bridge that I would go up and watch the sunset. And this particular day that I was up there, I was just standing up on this bridge, and everything just went quiet. I mean, everything at once. And I've only experienced this prior to that one time, but I didn't see anything, but I sensed something then. And I took the long way home. Now, when I was on this bridge, everything was, it was like a kill switch. That is the best way I can describe it. It was like a kill switch. And it was like I was sucked up in a vacuum and into a soundproof room. That is the best way I could describe how that felt.
Can I ask you a question? Did you feel pressure in your head?
Not really.
You didn't feel any pressure? You don't remember anything feeling like there was a pressure change at all?
Just an environmental change, just like every creature just went silent. Not that I really felt pressure, but it was deafening. I don't know how to explain it. It was just deafening.
The reason I asked that was because sometimes whenever people like I've talked to hunters and they'll have that right before an encounter with a Bigfoot or a Dogman or crawler or whatever it is, they'll feel this sort of change, like this pressure, and and they'll feel it in their head, and they'll feel like one guy. It's kind of funny. His name is Hunter, but he wasn't hunting at the time, but his name was Hunter, and he was out popping fireworks, and he told us the stories. It's 4th of July. I thought it would be appropriate, close to 4th of July, but and they were popping fireworks. I think it was New Year's Eve, but he said that all of a sudden the sound of the fireworks was gone, and him and his two brothers and their cousin got this weird, like, they felt like vertigo for just a second, and they felt like there was a pressure change, and then all of a sudden there was no sound. So that's odd. I mean, and then they saw this Bigfoot type creature. I mean, it was a brief encounter, but it was like, I've heard that off and on. I don't know why some people feel that, or why some people get what you got. Or they'll have this, like, satori, as the Japanese call it. The time slows down, you know?
Yep.
It's really
I've
odd. But anyway,
experienced
go
that.
ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to add that.
The satori I've experienced in like near-death experiences.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I looked to my left and didn't see anything. And then I looked to my right, and coming down the tracks, which I thought was like a I don't want to call them a Newfoundland. It's the white ones.
What was it, like a dog?
That's what I thought.
A Pyrenees.
Yeah. A Pyrenees, yes. Perfect. That is
I
it.
get that sometimes. Or a
Yeah.
Caucasian shepherd.
Yeah. And I was watching it come towards me, and I because we had Pyrenees on the next block over. And I thought it was one of their dogs that got loose, and it just looked a little dirty, like had spots of dirt on it. And I started calling it. I bent down and I called it. Like I was calling it, but something in me, like everything in me was saying, this, there's something wrong. You know, like all the alarm bells went off. And it just was trotting. It didn't speed up. It lowered its head. I remember it lowering its head. And this is where it got a little weird. It swung its back body almost to like show me the size of it. And it was still quite a ways away. And I stood there for, because at that point I stood up and I thought, something's not right about, you know, this dog. Nothing friendly about it.
Mhm.
And because I met the Great Pyrenees. I met the owners and I met the dogs, and the dogs were friendly. It's just everything about this was telling me it wasn't. And it got to the point where it was about a football field away. And that's when all, like, for me, everything was telling me something seriously wrong. So I started to climb down from this bridge. But before I did, I noticed that it was kind of walking in a way that it was showing me its size, and I saw spots. It was, the color of this was like white, gray, and charcoal gray. And the charcoal gray part was like the spots on it. So I got down, I went under the bridge, and I was like, should I just stay here? Should I go? But everything in my intuition was telling me go. And I still wasn't hearing the crickets or the birds. I just felt like I was in a place of my own, but with danger. Just so I decided to head back to my place because it was still keeping its pace. So I got down and I decided not to stay under the bridge. I went away and I stood at our driveway and I watched as this creature came on top of the bridge I was at. And if you take a look at this bridge, it was the height of the bridge.
How tall was the
From-
bridge?
I don't know. The bridge is still there to this day. I have never measured it, but I would say I'm about 5'7.5", and it comes up to my chest. And so it was definitely, because when it walked across the bridge, it disappeared.
Hmm.
And what I think it was doing was staying there trying to smell my scent, because it never came out on the other side. And I didn't wait to find out anymore because it looked like a hyena.
Yeah,
That's what, yeah, it looked like a hyena. That evening I asked my mom, I said, did any animals get out of a zoo? Was there anything in the newspaper? And she said no. And I thought that was really strange, you know. But there was like I said, when I was calling it, it swung its body to show its size. there was like it just seemed like there was some type of intelligence to that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep, that
it just didn't.
happens too. They like to flex for sure, and people will see one that is on all fours, and it will turn itself to show you its mass. It happens. People driving along, and they'll be like, "What the hell is that?" And it'll turn its body, and it'll be one person. They were telling me they were driving in one of the new Chevy Trailblazers. I don't know exactly how tall they are, but they said it was pretty much almost as tall as their vehicle, which was the new Chevy Trailblazers. Got that report recently, and that was near Beaumont, which is where the Golden Triangle. There's a lot of weird stuff down there.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, the reason why I gave the location is because the bridge is still there and you can pull it up online and look at it. And like I said, it was in Golden Valley, Minnesota.
It's not something where someone can go get hurt, right? I mean,
people go up there all the time. It's just a short little bridge. I've seen people up there many times when I was younger. I couldn't say if they could get hurt. Is it still active trains? I don't know, because I haven't lived there in years. So, but and that's it. It was just to give it an idea of the size of it. This happened, like I said, when I was 13.
When you were a child, when you were a smaller child, and you were throwing the rocks, do you think that you believe that the thing that threw the rocks back was something akin to a Dogman?
When it first happened, I thought maybe Bigfoot, but I didn't see anything that would resemble a Bigfoot. And whatever it was, it wasn't showing itself, and it was hiding very well in the reeds and the cattails. So, it was definitely something that me and the two boys never experienced, was something throwing it back at us. And so close, So, yeah, we never saw it, but we knew something was in there. And the one boy that took off first, it was like he automatically knew something wasn't right. Me and the other guy just kind of stood there like, did that just really happen?
Wow.
Yeah. Wasn't until the second rock was thrown that we knew for sure something was in the reeds, and we separated. We bolted. We didn't even look to see if each other made it home. So.
And you were talking about Satori, with your near-death experiences. Someone in the chat just said something. LF Prime says, I've literally experienced Satori a couple of times. I've done it a few stints in monasteries, not talking for weeks on end and meditating every waking moment. I've noticed that if you maintain, and then he stops right there and goes down and says, practice, the Satori consciousness will stay, but if you disregard it, it'll go away. That happens a lot with everything. When you go into that altered state of consciousness where I think you were at, if you disregard it and shake it off like something that, and you tell yourself it's something mental, right? It stops, it goes away.
Yeah.
But if you perceive it for what it is, a spiritual opening, then you will kind of hover there. That's the truth. And a lot of times when people have these encounters with these other beings, like I say other beings because that's what they are, they're other than us, they will have a sort of, I don't know, like they will, their spirit is telling them that they're in another place. They're not, and that they are, you are where you're at. Like say you're on such and such street, you're there. But you're actually able to see into the fourth or even fifth density, right? Because I've had people report seeing like in bridges because of the water. I think it's the water. And they'll report seeing things on the other side of a bridge. Like most recently, I got a report, but this happened like in 1977 or something. But this guy, he saw what looked like a centaur, and it was on the other side of a bridge in not Maine, not Massachusetts. Gosh, it's up in the Northeast, New Hampshire. And so he was in New Hampshire, and he was a kid. He grew up there, and he saw something on the other side of a bridge, and he felt that weird feeling. It was like this electrical feeling, and he saw this thing standing on the other side. But what was interesting was he saw something else down under the bridge, kind of climbing up the side of it that looked goat man-like. He didn't see the legs of it. He just saw the upper body. And he said, why would there be more than one of these entities there? I said, because you were probably looking into that other realm. You were able to see it. I mean, I got friends and colleagues, and you know, they've seen all kinds of stuff, portals and castles in the sky and things, you know. And I don't think they're all crazy. I think what it is they're seeing that other side. You know, I think we had Steve Stockton on the show, and he was talking about running into something near the reeds. And it's interesting that he was like near reeds or cattails or something like you were. And he believes that it was a water spirit, or a sprite, as he called it, that was causing him an issue. As something had happened. I don't know if you go back and listen to the live. But yeah, it was quite interesting. That was the same episode where we hear the wolf howl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very weird. It was on the show, and Stockton's talking and kind of stops because you hear a wolf howl, but we didn't do it. He thought it was some kind of like where we
like a soundboard.
Yeah, like we have a soundboard. We made a break or something, and I was like, no. I was wondering why he stopped, because at first I didn't hear it. But I think that what you do, and if you're an experiencer, Francis, I think that you're going in and out of these other dimensions, other densities, fourth and fifth dimension.
That would not surprise me. It would not surprise me, because we can talk about more about that. Because I've had a lot of paranormal experiences. They amp up when I'm reading my Bible. They really amp up. And but
you would think that would actually make them not come around.
Well, it's not just those things. It's, you know, the protection of God that falls on me, because like I said, there was that all the alarm bells were going off, and I listened to that. You know, I'm not even sure if I want to call it intuition, but just everything was saying, you need to move further away from this thing. And like I said, I stood back because I wanted to see if it was the Pyrenees dog from next door. And that's when I got a very clear look that this thing had the body shape of a hyena. And that was my first encounter, which I didn't realize was my first Dogman encounter until I had my third, because I didn't even know there was a hyena type until I had my third. My second encounter, I was going out because I used to run races, and I told my sister I was on my way out. I said, I'm gonna go for a jog, you know, every other day. And I decided I wanted to take the same railroad tracks and cross over and go to this place that I saw that was a lake that I didn't even know, like a small lake that I didn't know existed. So, and I used to, the year before, I used to run with my friend, and we would pace each other. But for this summer, she was really booked up with her time with other things. And so I was kind of missing her company. And I remember as I was going up the hill to get these to these railroad tracks, I thought, man, I could really use somebody to run with. That's what was going through my head. And I realized my shoe was untied. So I was like, I bent down to tie them, and then all of a sudden I saw this shadow coming towards me. And I stood up because I was like, wow, this person's really running fast. I stood up and I'm just so that you know, I was very close to this one. So I stood up and I looked, and here is this what looks like a huge wolf. And I'm going to say it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, beautiful coat. I didn't see the eye color because you have cats, and you know when you start to engage in that chase and that play, their eyes get really big like saucers.
Mm-hmm.
This is what was happening with this Dogman, and its ears were moving like radar back and forth. Like each ear was like, it was like, you know, and the look on its face was pure excitement. And I stood there because I thought, and I know this sounds really weird. I'm thinking, is this a movie? Are they doing a movie? And it ran in front of the sun, and all I saw was its black silhouette. And I realized there was spittle coming off the tongue.
Mm.
And after it ran past me and it was towards the other, one of the buildings, I took 2 steps and I was on the tracks. And this thing turned and looked at me. And I'm not kidding when I say this. It smiled and nodded at me,
Mm-hmm.
like, what's up? And it still did not click with me. Because at that point, everything was in that slow motion we were talking about.
Satori, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the rate, and it was just it was a light run. And let me tell you, the way this Dogman ran was like a well-oiled machine and would put any ballet dancer to shame.
Yeah, because to me, I think some of these things, they don't need to run.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. They just glide.
Yes.
One of the stories we're going to talk about, we're going to get into on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Someone saw one near Hempstead, and the weird thing was they didn't say it was a husband, a wife, and 2 children. With their children are grown. They're not little kids. They're not grown, but one's 18 and one's 22.
Mm-hmm.
But they all saw this when they were in their Tahoe, you know, and this thing didn't. And we were talking about it on the way back from Houston, Anthony. It didn't run across the road. Like it crawled up out of a ditch, you know, on one side of the highway, and then it just kind of glided across. They didn't see the legs moving, like it was moving, but not. Anyway, we'll talk about it on Tuesday. But it did not move like. It was like it didn't really need the locomotion. It's just going through it. Like, it's just like mocking it, you know.
Right, and I got what I got the sense of was that this was just play for this thing. Like, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, look. And then the dogs on the other side started going off. And it quickly turned its head in that direction, and the whole demeanor changed. And then it ran down the other side of the embankment, and I was still trying to register what did I just see, because now I'm seeing the backside of this, right? And it's going down on the other side of the hill. And I'm looking like, did I just see what I saw? Did I just see this? You know, and I started looking at the spittle on the tracks. And it was a hot day, and so some of the spittle, like on the iron part, was evaporating, but the ones on the wood was not, and on the rocks wasn't evaporating as fast as it being on the rails. And that's when I realized you really did see what you saw. And I started walking to see where this thing went, but then I stopped myself and I thought, you just saw something that I was talking to myself. And I'm like, you just saw something that is not supposed to exist. And that's when the fear kicked in. And all of a sudden I got ill. Like, I thought maybe I was getting heat sick, or I just had some type of awakening that my mind couldn't wrap around fully. And so I started heading back immediately because I just wasn't feeling well. And I just was starting to feel like my life force was being drained. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like every ounce of my energy was starting to be sucked out of me. And I went in, and my sister was reading a book, and she goes, wow, that was fast. I looked at her and I said, I think I just saw a werewolf. And I went right to my room and fell out on my bed, and I didn't wake up. Now, I can't tell you how long I was asleep. I just remember it being dark time. And I heard something knocking on the window. And then all of a sudden it was like I was hit again, like every ounce of energy I had was just sucked out of me again. And I just was right out. And I remember before I hit the pillow, when I lifted my head, there was something in front of my window, because I had we lived in ground apartments. So our window was ground, was leveled with the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Our windows were. And so before my eyes closed, I saw a shadow in the window. And it sounded like a cross between knocking, lightly tapping, and scratching. And I was out like a light. I didn't feel good for a couple days after that. And and that was my second experience. And the reason why I know, and I really truly think this thing came to my window, is because we only had one friend that would sneak out of our house and come knock on our window at night. And I believe it was 2 days later, I said, hey, what were you doing knocking on her window 2 days ago? And she looked at me, she goes, I didn't do that.
Mm.
And that's how I knew that thing came to my window.
Wow.
And yeah. But I to this day, I can't explain the withdrawal of energy. I've never felt that weak. And it took me days to recover. Like, I'd say probably, a week and a half.
Some people in the chat were asking about what Satori, what it means. The actual meaning of it is, it's a Japanese term, and it's a form of enlightenment. and it's sort of a Buddhist Zen term. But it does, when you are in that state, it supposedly is the true nature, you become aware of a heightened sense of things. And to me, I think it's a side effect of being in that other realm. You feel it, you notice it. So I think that what it is it does, like it causes you for things to slow down, to seem like other things around you are moving in slow motion, and you're speeded up and in a normal, you're moving normal, but everything else is slowed down, and you're able to observe it very well. But it also, it's not known. People that practice, Zen Buddhism and things like that. And I say things like that because it's not just a generalization, because there's other forms of Buddhism, Shintoism, and whatever. And people that meditate, and they enter into altered states of consciousness. Now, I'm not judging whether these people are right or wrong. I know that the knee-jerk reaction will be like, they're bad, they're not supposed to do that, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doing it, but that they do it. And so they report that you enter into another state of consciousness, and if you stay there, you become aware of the real world and the world of illusion, which is where we're at. We're in the land of illusion. Then the illusion kind of fades away, and it's very much the Matrix the movie kind of draws upon the whole concept of Satori, because the Satori itself does not mean slowing down or anything like that. It's becoming acutely aware of the world around you in its true form. And I've experienced this multiple occasions. And just to answer your question, Dick Richards, no, this is not estrogen juice. This is Topo Chico. But I did get your case of estrogen juice that you sent me, Dick. Thank you for that. Just being a good old dick that you are. Thank you.
The Dick.
Dick says, I'm kidding, bro. I wasn't. I really did not like you sending me that estrogen juice. And it was expired. So I will send you some of my testosterone juice. Okay. I've collected much sweat, put it in a bottle. It took me months, but I managed to get 2 whole bottles. I'll be sending it to you. Oh, wait, you're in Canada. They don't like testosterone up there, so I will not be able to send it to you. My sweat would get confiscated immediately by customs. They'd be like, hey, are you trying to be like a man, eh? Oh, no, I can't do that up here in Canada, eh? No, No, we all need man breasts up here, eh? They keep you warm in the wintertime, eh? So, sorry about that, Francis. I just had to crack on Dick Richards. He's a PRT alum. He's been on the show, too. I personally didn't find his encounters very fascinating at all. I slept through most of them, but whatever.
You had encounters?
Folks, also, while we're sitting here BSing here, look, if your name is not in green or blue, it should be. So if you're blue, you're a moderator, so I'm not talking to you. But if it's in yellow, you need to get your stuff together, and you need to actually join as a member. Become a member. That's not the Patreon. The Patreon's much better. Become a member, and your name will be in green, and you'll be entered to win the contest, which we'll be doing shortly. We're going to do the contest. And Francis, by way of you being a guest tonight, you're already a winner. So if you want to, if you want a PRT shirt, just private message me your information, and I'll send it to you forthwith. Is that correct? Did I say it correctly?
Post haste, forthwith,
whatever.
Yeah. I was going to say too, like the best way to describe the Satori is if anybody's ever watched The Matrix.
Yeah.
That is kind of what being in that state of mind is like. Yeah,
it's a heightened sense of things. You become very aware. People in combat experience it very, of course, kind of poignantly. But it's a sad, because they have to see it in slow motion. But it's also when you're a fighter, You
Mhm.
experience it quite a bit. I experienced it many times, and everything just kind of stops being so manic and, choppy, and all of a sudden you just focus, and, people make a mistake or they leave their guard down. You pounce on it and you take advantage of it, and that's when it kind of like slows down and you hit the target. I've always been a pretty accurate puncher, and so that's one thing, and I've told people before to if you enter into that state, to try to hover there. One of the things that people do that really, okay, this is going to sound weird, like if you were laying in your bed and you're about to go to sleep, if you tense up all your muscles and you kind of you'll kind of feel this rush of like maybe a little bit of adrenaline or something go through you, kind of a shock to your body, and you just kind of stay there and kind of, I don't know. I could do it naturally. I don't know how other people, it's hard to explain. But if you do that kind of like tensing up, and you do it, and you'll eventually sort of achieve that state. But that is hard to do without some sort of meditation. It's hard to do. And otherwise, it just happens in spurts throughout your life. People in car wrecks report it. There'll be a moment where they're just kind of like, and in movies, they always do it, where there's a wreck. They're like,
Well,
like,
yeah, that's pretty much where I experienced it, was driving a lot, because I was a professional bus driver.
Wow.
So a lot of times when I got into situations where I had to swerve or dodge another vehicle, it was always that slow motion, but my reflexes
Yeah.
were like incredibly fast, and everything was sharp. Like my sight was sharp, and I could recall everything perfectly after it happened. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what the third encounter you had?
The third encounter, and this is about 2-3 weeks, I want to say, before that happened, I had a dream where I was running down some tracks, like superhumanly fast. And I trained under what some people call a prophet. And I saw him in the dream as I was running. He was praying for a young boy. And then I looked ahead of me, and the tracks in my dream just stopped, and I'm looking now at a forest. And looking back at me are 3 black dogmen. And I stood there and I stared at them, and they stared at me, and I knew in my dream I was to face them. Now, I wasn't 100% sure what that meant. I thought maybe I was going to come up against some type of adversity. So I went to this business the day that it happened. I went to this business in the city that I was living in at the time. And I brought my cousin with me. And I used to do, for my hobby, I used to do beading. And so I was at this bead store, and we went to other places too that day, but he was teasing me in front of these business, like the business people there. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna listen to your Dogman stories while you bead," and where we were at were multiple different businesses. And the business owner of the store we were in walked up, and he's kind of looking around, and I thought, well, that he's acting a little suspicious. Why is he? Because he was making a beeline towards me after my cousin did that. And he made a beeline towards me. And he's looking, left to right. And he goes, "Did you see one of them?" And I looked at him and I said, "What?" He goes, "Did you see one of those Dogman thing?" And I said, "No." I said, "Well," I said, I've had an encounter." Because remember, I didn't know that my first encounter was a Dogman. My first encounter I thought was just a runaway hyena, although it was not the color of a regular hyena. I was still counting my second encounter as my first. So I said, "No, I've had an encounter once." And he looked at me, this business owner, he goes, "Because people have said they've seen him down by the river." And that's when my cousin walked away. And I was like, "Great." I'll probably have it. I just had a dream about these things a couple weeks prior, and now somebody's telling me that they're here. And I thought, no, what are the chances? What are the chances I'm going to have another one? And I ended up leaving that business and walking out kind of in a daze, because I started realizing at that moment that my experience was real. I mean, it's been years and I still question it because it happened so fast. So that day we got to my place late, and I decided I was going to sit and talk to a family member. And I'm sitting in my vehicle. There's woods behind me, just so that you know, but everything is like, there's no like leaves on the trees. It was just, we were coming into spring, but it was kind of lingering. There was just dead foliage on the ground. No leaves on the trees at that point. There was a huge boulder that was embedded in this hill. So the woods went uphill, like this huge hill. And there was this boulder, just a huge, massive boulder that was in this hill. And I'm sitting in my car and I'm starting to get the heebie-jeebies. And I'm thinking, this is so ridiculous. You don't have to worry about running into one of these things. You don't have to worry about it. And I was just getting I kept looking around me while I was talking to my family member. I just kept feeling like there were eyes on me. And everything just felt wrong. I don't know how to explain it. Just felt uneasy and wrong. And so I turned on some Christian music to help ease me while I was talking to her. And I figured I was just going to put a hedge of protection around me. And I got done speaking to my relative, hung up with him, and then I got out of my car. And my car had these white lights in the back, along with the brake lights. And I got out of my car, and I just took a look back. And I noticed there was something laying on the ground next to that boulder. And I thought, who is it? It was black, like it absorbed the light. You hear people say that, and that's exactly what happened. Was like this. There was like even the light wasn't, it was just like sucked up into this mass. And I'm looking, and the back of my car lights are on, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, who is this? And then I looked down by the feet because I was like, it was covering its head, just so that you know. Like it was trying to hide. Like I caught it in a like army crawl is the best way I could describe it. Like it was army crawling up the hill. But I knew it wasn't a person. And when I finally realized this was not a person, I should say, was when I looked down by its feet and I saw paws. Definitely saw an elbow and arm because it was covering its head. And that's when I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And I turned around and I started walking across the road, and I heard in my head a male voice. It was clearly a male voice. Said, if you turn around, I will kill you. And I thought about my dream. And my connection with the Lord is very tight. Like, he always prepares me for warfare. And I remember in my dream that I turned around and faced the woods. So when I got across the street, I could hear this thing get up. My cousin came out and from the building, and I said, get back inside, get back inside. And he's like, why? I said, because I just saw a Dogman and it's going up the hill, and I turn around to face it. I decided I'm turning around, I'm going to face it. You couldn't see nothing. It wasn't even close to me, although it felt like it was really, really close to me. I thought it was breathing down my neck. And so I turned around and I faced it. And he was like, let me get a flashlight, because he really wanted to see this. And I'm like, there's no time. It'll be gone by the time you get it. I said, get inside. And he didn't want to listen to me. So he goes out in the middle of the road and I go inside. He had my son. So I grabbed my son from him. Sorry, gotta back up. Grabbed my son from him as he was passing by me, because I knew he wanted to see this thing. And he heard it go up the hill. Never saw it, but he heard it. And I went inside and I thought, that was probably the most scariest encounter I had. And I'll tell you why, because of what it said to me. You turn around, I will kill you. And the weirdest thing was that it felt like it was breathing down my neck. Like it was, like I felt like it was walking behind me. And I think what these things do, and I'm not sure 100%, but what I experienced that day is that I think they can project like feelings and thoughts. Maybe, I know that sounds really weird, but I've experienced myself where I have literally like 3 occasions where I've thought something and people swear up and down they heard me say it. And my mouth, and if it wasn't for witnesses around me saying that I didn't say it, you know, and I could talk to you about that too. But I know it can be done because I've experienced it 3 times in my life, where I'll have a thought and somebody will hear it and respond to it without me even opening my mouth. So do they have that capability? I think they do. I don't know if all of them do, you know, because like I said, the first two, I didn't experience any, you know, I didn't hear a voice or a thought. And like I said, this was clearly a male voice. This was not my female talking in my own head type thing, you know. It was clearly a male voice.
When you there have been cases, and I know that Anthony and Tony know this because we've interviewed so many different people. I don't remember. Do you remember the guy Roger? Not the guy from the LBL. The Roger. He was the one who worked at the power plant, and he saw the thing on the side of the road. But then later he was. Because I remember when we were in LaGrange, and we were talking about to the waiter. We were talking about, and he said, "Hey, I know somebody, you know, whatever." That guy had said that he had heard it talk to him when he was in his vehicle, and he said, "Don't turn around." But all he saw was a black mass. Well, later on, and this is also something we're going to get into on Tuesday because it had something to do with Hempstead, which I think is a hot spot because of the amount of encounters people have on the road there. I'm going to give you some advice, folks. If you're near two different places, Hillsboro on 35, which is where Lance Hoyt and the other wrestlers saw the werewolf, or if you're near Hempstead going toward Houston on 290, don't break down. Don't break down. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, do not break down. And I'm going to say this, no jokey, no chuckle house. If you're in between Waco and like Hyco area, another place. If you break down, just stay in your car at night. Don't get out and try to change. Don't do stuff. That's my opinion, okay? If you have AAA, wait inside your car. Because there are an inordinately large amount of reports that come out of those areas. And I've talked to other researchers who've said this too, from Texas, that they've gotten stories. The bear-like entity that people see, the bear man, bear king, whatever, they call it the bear king, whatever, the story from Marble Falls. I'd say from Burnett, Marble Falls, and then back up to Dripping Springs, that whole area seems to be its stomping ground. There again, I wouldn't get out and run around at night if you're by yourself, especially.
Yeah.
Because people see these things quite a bit. It's disturbing, the number of reports. And so sometimes people will see two different things. I think that's another weird phenomenon. Like somebody will see a shadow-like being, just like a shadow, you know, and then someone else with them will see what looks like a freaking werewolf. And sometimes they will do this mind speak thing where they'll talk to you. And one lady, it was like it was telling her, "You don't see me." And she was like, "I wonder why it's saying that." And it was just a shadow person, a tall. I mean, she thought it was like a giant because it was like 8 foot tall. But her companion, who was driving, her sister, saw it, and it looked like a freaking werewolf. She's like, "Did you see that werewolf?" And she was like, "No, I saw a shadow. And it was saying, 'You don't see me.'" Now, I know that's weird. Now, a friend of mine who, his dad, you know, was his dad, he's half. His dad was Navajo. But he said that, you know, his best friend's father was a medicine man. And he had a falling out with another medicine man because they were on two different paths. And one of them was doing dark magic. And that was one of the things he was practicing under this guy until he caught him using black magic, donning skins, which we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shape-shifting.
Yeah, shape-shifting. And he wasn't in the process of shape-shifting, but he was putting on skins that he had stolen. And so he said, "What is this for?" And he says, "Well, you got to be stealthy when you go to do this, this, and that. And so you repeat this mantra, 'You don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me.'" And obviously it didn't work on him because you saw him, you know, putting on the skins, a joke. But the thing is, he's like, oh, why would you need to do that unless you're spying on somebody and doing something illicit, bad? And so that is a weird thing. And so these things do that. They'll tell you, that.
It's like trying to project that thought into your mind.
Yeah, and there again, we were talking about the fight game. People will say that they will get inside people's heads, by projecting themselves and their prowess. The Maori of New Zealand, they do a lot of that, like, yeah, and when they're doing that, they're projecting themselves out, and they say it works, like it helps. It's like an intimidation tactic, and the other team is sitting there looking at them like, what are these people doing?
Well, I mean, that's what war cries and war paint is for, too.
But that is to project yourself, like, you're sitting there and you're like, you're pushing energy out. I took Taekwondo for 3 months. I'm an expert at it. That's all it took to learn it.
I got a yellow belt when I was a kid.
Yeah, I know Taekwondo. I watched it on TV, and not to bag on Taekwondo, but it is a very simple. But the kick to the head, the one thing they have, that side kick, can really hurt you. Okay, but they'll do this like where you punch like that, and you go like that. That is not a joke. Like that is actually like pushing force. You're actually pushing ki out, or chi, as they say in Chinese, but it's ki in Korean and Japanese. But you're projecting ki, outward. And breathing techniques are very important too. That's why I do the Wim Hof. But I do believe that these entities, they do a lot of projecting of what they want you to see. And I think people can do it too.
Yeah. Because when I felt it, like I mentally was seeing it, like it was breathing down my neck, and that it was walking right behind me. That's when I turned around and I decided to face it, and it wasn't there. It was just, and I thought to myself, "You're a liar."
Yeah.
I don't know if it heard what I was thinking, but I was kind of mad because I didn't like being threatened like that, and I couldn't understand. And I know that sounds so weird because I was dealing with something that I had really no real understanding of, but I didn't like being threatened, and I remembered when I remembered that dream. I think that dream was telling me to turn around and face it, and that's what I did. And that's when I realized I just learned something about this thing. I think this thing can project thoughts and not and even words, So that's
I agree with you totally, 100%. Projecting. There are yogis that can project thoughts into your mind. Mystics, Sufi mystics that can do it. There are even, there are all kind of Buddhist shamans can do it. I've even heard of like really strong people in the faith of Christianity, Islam.
and I'll just tell you this one last thing. Like I had somebody call me, and I don't know why people think of me when they go through something, but this person called me and they said, I had a really, really bad dream. I mean, really bad dream. And I said, okay. And they started telling me that in this dream they were walking, and this is what I think you might be talking about. She said, I was walking in my living room and I said, was everything gray, blue? And I said, grayish blue. I said, like you're walking in the dark, but you can see things. And she said, yes. And I said, okay. I said, you're in your living room. I said, you're heading towards the other room, which was, I saw a dining room. And she goes, yeah. She goes, that's, she goes, I turned the corner and 2 wolves were eating my baby's stomach.
What?
And this was
Hello? Teresa, did we lose you?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Oh man.
Oh, we got to figure this out because you can't just leave us with that.
So
Yeah.
what a time to end it.
Okay, let me. Because nothing changed on our end. We're just sitting here. Tell you what.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we lost her. She's disconnected.
What a clip.
Maybe she can. She can click on the link again and try to rejoin. I don't know. Maybe she lost her internet. Maybe her power went out. Which
Well, if she's on her phone, her phone might have died. So if we just give her a little bit, let her phone charge up.
Yeah, exactly. A-Man says funny timing.
Yeah,
like
I was
usual
thinking
these
that.
things.
yeah, it's a hell of a time for it to
Yeah,
crap out.
the other day when I was talking after the L.A. Marzulli interview, and then I'll click over to Tony for a minute.
I got to work on some stuff here.
Some things.
Okay, collab cam.
What do you guys think of that story so far, though? Let's see what some comments are about what she
Yeah,
was
we're just
saying.
waiting to get her back. I'm over here behind the computer screen, just waiting to see if she shows back up on here.
Yes, everybody. The face of the show is back in charge again.
Yeah, some face it is. God, I can't believe we just stopped right there.
Mm-hmm. Banjo, he's great. And he cut his nails, but he's doing good. This heat's getting to him, though. He does not like it. No, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's just too weird. I mean, unless her phone died, then it's like it's understandable. But
But right there,
it was
though.
just getting good. Like, I mean, it's good the entire time, but like I was really. Oof.
It was getting disturbing, is what it was.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I was locked in right there.
Ice cakes?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Rice cakes are quite good.
Can you? Maybe you can shoot her a message and ask.
Well, I mean, if her phone died, then,
But I mean, we don't know that that's what happened.
I mean, if we can't get contact of her, that's probably what happened. Because if it was anything else, she would have just joined back immediately.
Okay, so I think she's back here with us. Hang on, show on screen. Okay, there she is. She's back with us now. Let me see if.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Audience, can you hear her?
Okay. Yep. You need me to do a mic check?
No. We got you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'll finish this up. My phone got super hot, so I'm now running the air conditioner on it. It's never happened like that.
Do you have a cleaner on it, like the phone cleaner?
I
'Cause you
don't
can
know.
get the
I'll talk to
temperature down.
Okay, I'll talk to my daughter about that because she's the technological person.
So are you a Gen X?
Gosh, yeah, I think I am. What year did they start at?
You were born in the 70s?
Yep.
You're like me.
Yeah.
You got to ask the younger generation for help all the time.
Right.
You're like, can you help me? And they're like, no, old man, go die in whatever
your
way you
own
feel
butt.
possible.
Ew, gross. You're old.
So I'll finish this up so you can get your other people on. So
No, there's
this
no other
person
people.
who
Oh, there's no one else.
oh,
Yeah, you can go
Okay.
take your time.
all right.
Yeah, we're not doing
So
open
this-
line tonight.
Oh, okay. So this person who had called me, I started describing what I was seeing in my head. And I said, when she told me that these two wolves were eating her baby's stomach, it was just a baby. I saw it was brutal, and I can understand why this disturbed her so bad. And so I asked her, I said, can I ask you a question? Because when it comes to children, I don't mess around. I don't play. I'm to the point. I said, what two addictions are you fighting? And this person just started crying on the phone. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what it is. Two addictions. And they told me that they were fighting gambling and drinking. And they said, I have $20 left and I'm thinking about going to the casino with this money. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you right now the reason why I said, that's a warning dream. I said, you need to start taking care of. I said, the reason why you saw the two wolves eating your baby's stomach is because your addictions are taking away this child's food, taking the food right out of her stomach. I said, so if I were you, I'd take that $20. I'd go get that formula that you're thinking about. But I said, do not go back to the casino with it. I said, because you're just going to lose it. Hung up with that person. A couple days later, I don't know if I called that person or they called me. But I find out they went and took it to the casino hoping that they would increase their money, and they didn't. They ended up losing it, and then they were having to find somebody to get the baby formula. And I was, to me, it's like, although I'm realizing not everybody understands their dreams. But for me to have to be dead on that person's dream, but I was seeing it as they were talking about it, because I would say some things to confirm what I was seeing. And so that's, that was one of the things I wanted to share. The last thing I guess I could share with you. I mean, I don't know how much you want me to talk about tonight about, I don't know if you guys want me to talk about anything else. We could definitely do that, or we can call it a night, and then, we can record.
Yeah,
About
I'm always down to record because I'm behind on trying to get some podcast episodes out, and retelling your Dogman encounters on there, and would be great too. I got a lot of work I got to do, but it's so hard getting in the studio and having to do interviews, and then we also have to do our syndication next month, and get ready for the fall because we have to start doing weekly episodes geared toward TV, which is going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, I mean, we'll get used to it like we do everything.
I don't know if you can help me with that, Francis. You seem like you have some intuitive ability. Is it going to be a flop? Tell me now.
What do you want to know? I missed that part.
Am I going to make it? Am I going to be big? Am I going to have my name in lights and be in the Hollywoods? You know what? I don't know. I'm joking. I don't want to be any of that. What I'm saying, we have our syndication, and then we have to be ready for the fall. As soon as summer's over, we have to start, and we have to have episodes recorded. I guess what we're going to have to do is, and I got to talk to the people at the network, whatever, but what we're going to have to do is, like, I guess I'm going to do the show, or we're going to do the show, and we're not going to have a chat. Is that how it works? We're going to do like a show like this. We're going to record ourselves live talking.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we're not going to have it's not going to be live streamed on YouTube.
So we're going to have to do it like this and record ourselves with the cameras.
I mean, if we're doing it here, I don't know if they want us to do it here, like at their studio.
Well, they have a
or what.
studio downtown. Kate Hunter, thank you for that donation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. She needs prayers, folks. She's not doing too good. Honey, and Kate Hunter, if you need that, don't give it to us. Okay? Just, if you need it, keep it. But if you can afford it, that's fine. But if not, don't feel, and like, please don't feel like you need to carry us. What we are gonna have to do, I guess, is like sit there in front of the camera without any. It's gonna be kind of weird because we're used to recording audio, and then this gets recorded, but you have an audience.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got to figure that out. We're gonna have.
I'm
to
guessing it's probably going to be like 3 chairs, and we're just going to.
We might have to do some call-ins on there or something.
I don't know.
I'll have to ask Eric.
I mean, we'll figure it out.
You like this? Yeah, Eric, how is this going to work with the syndication? He's like, you got to be less ugly. So you're saying that I need to scrap Anthony and Tony? He's like, exactly.
Eric wouldn't say that.
No problem.
He would just say, no.
That's how that conversation is going to go.
He would say, no, just scrap Tony.
He would. Look at this guy.
He would.
He calls back. Yeah, you're watching the show? Yeah.
Like, people are disgusted by the stick figure over there.
Anthony, too? His face?
The stick bug sitting there with the broccoli hair.
Tony with
See
the
this jealousy that just
broccoli
looks
hair.
Weird.
I just exude confidence.
Both of them
And he
are
has to
hideous.
put
Both of
down
them are hideous,
another
but I'm
man
good looking.
because he just doesn't have the confidence.
Okay, he's saying
He has to work out himself.
He's saying that I'm good
He
looking.
exudes
enough to
confidence
carry the
while
whole
sitting there
show.
slouching in his chair all night.
I'm confident still. Like, I'm confident in myself.
Fiddling
no
with
matter
clay,
what.
sitting there slouched over.
I'm confident in all those actions.
Do you see what I got to deal with, folks? Look at this, Francis. This is what this is what I'm working with.
I don't have a stuttering issue, so I mean, I have perfect confidence in my ability.
You know what the good thing about having a stuttering problem is?
Y'all are so
What is
mean.
it?
Is that I can practice and be better tomorrow. But you'll be stupid forever.
You could.
And you'll be ugly forever.
Peter,
You'll be stupid forever. But I can practice and speak better tomorrow.
It hasn't been working yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why don't you do this? Go ahead,
You
go ahead.
need this, right?
Go ahead,
This
go ahead.
is all he
Go ahead.
has. Look, everybody. Look what he has to prove.
Look at that.
Oh man,
Miguel for that
That's
donation.
disgusting. That's gross.
Miguel says I need a new
There's the man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, that's why you just broke your
Ranking
phone
pain,
screen once
drop
again.
stuff.
Sad he cares so much about
folks,
another man's body.
you know what? People have the nerve to say that I oppress them. Do you have any idea what it's like dealing with these two? They have no clue. And when they were kids, you know what they did when they were young? You have no idea what they did to me, folks. They would do the worst. Like, it was the worst. Like, you have no idea. They took my truck one time. They just took it. And then they went to, where'd y'all go, to get pizza for 3 hours or something? I went, and
I don't remember.
Marty's calling me, and he's like, hey, I need somebody to go do this. And I'm like, okay, I go out there, do. My truck is gone. Now, of course, the car was in the shop because they destroyed it. I think that they literally, they would take like bats and just go out and beat the cars on the hood, the roof, and the sides of the cars. Where'd you get that dent? I don't know. The dent was there when I woke up. Wow, really? And then Anthony, what do? He parked by, remember this? He parked by like a gate and it exploded on him or something and it hit the, remember
Your
that?
truck?
Yeah.
What happened to my truck?
That was my truck. That Chevy was mine
That was Wolf's truck that he gave to you.
that you destroyed. Hey,
No.
let's not talk
That
about
was
it.
the
'cause-
backup
No.
loop.
Okay, the side of
man.
my truck was smashed in while it was parked 2 times in the exact same spot
How
on 2
does
different
this
occasions.
happen, dude?
Yeah.
And then he gets broken into at Staybridge, and he's like, "It's not my fault it got broken into. You parked it right there by the highway where they could just pull in, look
Okay,
in there,
yeah,
and see a big bag full of stuff, and bam, break the windshield, and then take it and run off."
Okay, yeah, that was my fault, but like I can't anticipate. Like I just parked in a parking lot, and like if someone is smashing into my damn car while I'm inside doing my job,
If it happens once,
that's not my fault.
you're
Yeah,
like,
once
oh,
is like
okay.
you could say, but twice?
It happens twice. You're
Yeah,
like, come on,
it
dude.
happened twice.
Stop parking there.
This guy's gonna talk about getting
See,
wrecking
that's his thing.
vehicles.
Like he likes to blame D and stuff like that for like shooting off the blame, but like I make my bed and I
D's
lie
not-
in it.
D's not here.
Anytime he's in the hot seat, he has to push it all onto
why you-
me. Isn't that so funny?
No, it's
Make
only,
your bed
it's
and
only,
sit in
it's
it.
only when you're
You
being a
make stupid
hypocrite.
mistakes.
It's only when you're
You make
being a
stupid
hypocrite.
mistakes. That's okay. Be stupid.
How many vehicles have you wrecked, Tony?
Just be stupid.
Let's see. We have the
I have
Solara.
the Silverado.
We have the
Yeah,
Chrysler.
exactly. Like
we have
I don't
we have
pretend.
now.
I don't be like,
We have the Ford.
Right.
you're a child. You're a child.
Hold on. Let me referee this. I will say this: Tony, his mother, works hard. Okay, his mother paid $1,400. This was several years ago. This was like in 2014 or something. This was back. Money was a lot more than it is now. $1,400 for your what's it called, the Sebring, Chrysler Sebring, and you went flying through the air like Shaquille O'Neal the next day.
Yes.
And she called me and she goes, "What? Tony go fly through the air? What, he play basketball?" And I'm like, "Dal, I have no idea. Why he do that?" I'm like, "He don't answer me." I'm like, "Okay, call him. I will tell him to answer." Tony's back there. He's pretending to be asleep. Literally, will not wake up. So I'm like, "Dude, wake up. Your mom's calling. You don't want to answer." And I heard her scream his soul out of his body through the phone. Yeah, look, Scorpion said it right there. Tony can't say anything, Mr. Flying through the air. He just said it right there. But you know what, though? You almost burned my house down, Anthony. You did a lot of stupid things, okay? And Zane,
Oh yeah.
how many recliners did he break by going over them and just dropping down like a dead body onto them?
No, what took the cake was that couch that you had for like a decade that was
that
never
nice
got broken. That like
That was a custom-made couch.
that all these big huge dudes like crashed on, and it was fine. He sleeps on it for like a week, and it's all crap.
That couch was in the flop house where the bouncers and the bartenders and everybody would come over and crash out. And, you know, it was a nice Italian leather couch. It was a gift. And from my Armenian friends, okay? And I literally went to this guy's club, and he had this nice couch there. And I'd never forget. I sat and I said, "Dude," I said, "this couch is so nice. This is a wonderful couch." And he's like, "You want a couch like that, my friend? I get you one. I order you. I send to you." And I said, "How much?" He goes, $500. I said, "This couch is worth 3-4 times." This was like 20 years ago. And he goes, "No problem. Give me 500. That's my cost. I give it to you." And I said, "Okay." And I didn't think he'd really do it. And then he calls and says, "Come get your couch." And he had it sent to Austin to his nephew's house. So I got to Westwood, and I pick it up. And I had the couch forever. And every thug in Austin at some point crouched on my couch. And then my adopted son, my nephew, sleeps on it for a couple weeks, and it's broken. And I'm like, "How did you do that?" I don't know. "That couch is weak, dude. That's a weak couch. That's a cheap, weak couch." Cheap, weak couch. The guy that made that couch wasn't even alive anymore. He was like a master craftsman. It was made from scratch. It took like 2 months to get, and this guy just goes and lays on top of it like a water buffalo and breaks it. Y'all were all horrible. You were terrible. And then I get called from the apartment manager, who I was really good friends with, and she's like, "Yeah, I think these are your kids, and they're throwing other people around in the pool." I go out there. Y'all aren't throwing other people around. Y'all were throwing each other around, and Adrian was being tossed in the air by Zane, and there was all this screaming and yelling.
Yeah, and that's probably whenever my brothers came over.
And everybody was screaming and yelling, but y'all had co-opted the pool. and everybody else was scared and was like watching you. And they were around, this family was scared. And this happened. And then they said, well, just, don't. It was every summer with these people. And then they do it again. October 13th. Yeah. Rob, I need to know what style of hat. Do you want a white hat? Do you want it blue? Do you want it black? Or do you want a mixture? I can get a couple of them. We're going to give Bigfoot Michigan Rob a hat. And I'm going to ruin it by signing it. I'm going to put my autograph on there. Somebody who thinks he's important. Okay, I'm gonna take it to the bar with all my friends at the Bald Bull, or the Big Bear. What's it called? The Big Bear. We're gonna go down there to the Iron Bull, and they're gonna sign it. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, we're gonna sign it, 'cause that's where I hang out at. 2 snaps up. Yeah. Oh, and it's good to see that nobody showed up for the chat. I mean, like, we were supposed to be destroyed. I'm over here like, whoa, oh my gosh, Scoob, I'm so scared. That's because people don't give a shit. People want to hear stories. People want to they want to laugh. They want to be entertained. Okay? So they don't care.
It's almost like nothing happened.
Conspire all you like. We'll make more. I mean, remember that with Jay Leno? He did the Doritos commercial with his big chin. Nah, eat all you like. We'll make more. Give a shit what you say, and nobody else does either. So we got to do this because Miguel, he's an important member of PRT, and he says he needs a new robe. We got a great new satanic robe coming out for everybody who's a satanic Nazi communist,
Hindu, and Anunnakist.
We have a new one coming out. It's red. It's got the swastikas with the, what is the other bad symbol? The what is it with the star? Pentagrams. Pentagrams all over it, all around.
It has peace symbols with like crosses through it saying no peace. It's crazy.
And you got to have penises on it too.
And like the outline.
Got to be all over it.
And the outline of a middle finger.
All of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I just come out dressed in that red thing like Lady Gaga. I'm like, what is this? Is this our new robe? Is this what we're doing? Come out with a riding crop. This is not working for me. Come on. I don't know. Francis, are you there? I'm sorry about that. We went all.
No. Oh yeah, we forgot.
She's over there like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just freaked the hell out. Sorry, we just got carried away with the jokes. I forgot you were there, and we just tried to have
entertained by the weirdism.
PRT, pretty ridiculous time. That's what we're here for. Joanne says, "Are you forgetting your guest?" I think we did. I am very sorry about that.
Audacious Amber says, "Do you have one for the retardation?"
The retardation. You have the retardation rope.
I mean, we're gonna need it according to what we were doing for the past 5 minutes.
And then my detractors would be like, and then the guy, he came out wearing the red rope, and he looked stupid.
I'm not like a racist stupid.
I'm not like him. He's stupid. They're like, oh, is he really? Tell us all about it. There's 30 of us listening. Come on. So we had a lot of fun with that bull crap, but we got to move on. I blame Francis. She came on and just went buck wild.
What's going on, Francis? You got to control.
Francis, you got to control yourself when you come on the show. I mean, this is we get crazy, but this is ridiculous.
Hey, Francis, I'm really gonna need you to hold it down.
Yeah, we need you to.
Yeah, we need you at like a 2.
Bring it down a notch.
You're like
It's just really like the worst time for it.
You're off the charts with your ridiculousness.
And I thought I was being well behaved.
Yeah, you were. That's the problem.
Just bring it down a little bit. Down a notch. Oh wait, she can't see this. My bad.
I don't know
Tiny hands. Well, the audience is.
I mean, the audience can see it, but she couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, you can see it on the replay.
Yeah. So everybody, we're gonna do the giveaway now, and we still got another hour of the show. Francis, you want to hop off?
I can do that, and
Okay.
We'll talk about other things if you'd like. You know how to contact me too.
I do, and definitely, we definitely want to record because we got to get the podcast because there's still this humongous audience for the podcast, and they're like, "You haven't made anything in years." They're very, they exaggerate. They'll go onto the Paranormal Roundtable group, and they're like, we're starving for Paranormal Roundtable. And they're like, well, there it is on YouTube. And they're like, nah, we don't like that. We're starving. We need Paranormal Roundtable. They're like, watch the YouTube. It's on YouTube. Even the podcast episodes are. Yeah, but YouTube it makes my ears bleed. It hurts. I don't know. I can't do it.
You of Tube? I haven't heard of him.
I have heard not of this man, but I would like to hear Josh Turner speak with his great stories. What are we doing? And then they just, I don't know. I was reading something the other day. My wife told me a story about some people that starved to death in a cabin when they could have gone out to the shed and there was food. And it was a true story. And I'm like, what? And so I looked into it, and there was all these cases of people like literally dying of thirst within feet of water. I mean, it was like, it was crazy stuff, and these people are like, what do I do? They just lay down and they're like, they see these other animals walking by. What do you think they're going? They could be going to a water source. And they're like, oh, I'm just going to die here by the animal trail. There's a trail there because they're going to the water. To the water. I'm just gonna die, and it's crazy. You read this and you're just shocked at people's absolute laziness. I'd be hustling trying to find some way to live. And the main reason I would want to live, I love you guys, and I love Nellie, and I love my family, and I love my friends, but to piss off my enemies, because that would drive me. I'd be laying there with the, you got the chapped lips, and you're all like sunburnt, and you're laying there, and you're like, you're like Clint Eastwood on Good, the Bad, and the Ugly when he's in the desert, and he's all about to die. And then the Eli Wallach figures out that he's got the name of the gold cemetery in the gold. Then he's all, don't die. Don't you die like that pig. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I would be like Clint Eastwood laying there, and then I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, my enemies. Oh, wait, never mind. I'd just get up and start walking. Just so I could show up in the saloon, and them all go, damn, he's still alive. Because it would piss him off. And I would be that vindictive. I would live to spite them. That's what's going to drive me to stay alive. When I start to get reckless, I'm like, wait a minute. If I die, these people are going to be really happy. We can't allow that. So that's it. That's what we go. That's what we do. So, Francis, thank you for tuning in. Do you want to let Francis go?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you did. You did all kinds of wackiness here, and so.
Well, have a good night. Thank you
too.
for having me on the show. And like I said, I do have other paranormal, experiences that I could share. And we'll talk more about that another time, Josh. So.
Okay. Do you want to talk about them now?
Well, what do you want? I mean, because I've been exposed to possessions, people being possessed.
Before you run, let me ask you this. Do you feel like not only are you an experiencer, but somebody said in the audience that they think you have some, you're a healer?
I'm more like every dream that I've pretty much have had is me fighting like military style stuff, and spiritual warfare stuff. And I think that a lot of whatever it is that I have, and I know there are others out there. I know there is. But I think when you're a child that's been born in turmoil, you develop senses in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Bible verse that really, for me, that's helped me understand the paranormal experiences that I have experienced is Isaiah 9:2. That spoke volumes to me. But my first encounter with Jesus was at 3, and I didn't know who he was. I just kept asking, where's the man? Where's the man? I was 3 years old. My babysitter at the time I was a child that was really hard to put down for a nap. I was always on the go, 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 go. And she wanted to put me down for a nap, but she had to get dishes done, because she had just had, I believe, just got done feeding all the kids. And she had this picture of Jesus. And she told my mom, and my mom and I do remember this because I remember everything from 18 months on up. And that is really hard for a lot of people
Mhm.
to grasp. How does somebody from 18 months up remember everything? So I was looking at this picture. I was playing and she was watching me because it's just right there, you know? And then she said, all of a sudden I stopped and walked up to the picture of Jesus and started speaking in a completely different language. And she was from Africa, and she was a Christian, and she believed, because obviously she had a picture of Jesus in her home. And then all of a sudden, while I was speaking this different language to this picture, I said, okay. And I said, Nana, I'm going to bed. And I picked up all the toys and I put them away and I went right up to bed. That is very unusual for me as a child because, like I said, putting me down for a nap I made it difficult.
I
So
was
that
like
was
that too.
like, huh? You were?
I did not like to nap at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt like if I would have took a nap, I would have missed out on the living, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
you said Isaiah 9:2, okay, and
mhm.
that is the people who dwell in the darkness have seen a great light.
Yes.
Okay, and then it says those who have dwelt in the what is it? I forgot the second part of it.
Yeah, I don't have it right offhand right
Those
now.
that dwell in the deep darkness, a light has shone on them. Something similar to that, I believe. Look it up. Look up. I don't want to misquote. I don't. People should look up. I like it when people go and look up stuff.
It's Isaiah 9:2.
Yeah, what does it say exactly?
Let me see.
Okay, I guess I could look it up.
The people. Hang on.
Okay, well, I'm just.
Okay, well, nothing. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined.
Okay, there you go. Mm-hmm. I knew it was something along those lines. I couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. But that's Isaiah. That's what that is, and that is a very good passage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I do remember from 18 months up was my mother, before she got saved, her and my dad would constantly be fighting, and they were drinkers at the time.
Mm.
And I even remember crawling through beer cans as a kid just to getting cereal for myself and turning on the TV and watching TV at a very young age, So those are, very turmoil days, just very chaos, no, just no form in my life as a child at that point. No consistency, no, just I couldn't rely on what what the next day was going to be, you know. And so I think as a child, I grew up just trying to survive and developing certain, and I think this was, and I really say this from like deep in my heart, that my father, my true father, I'm talking about my heavenly father, gave me gifts in order to survive everything. And I can tell you that by my own mom's hands, she tried to take my life 3 times.
Mm.
And one of the times that she did, and I will tell you what I saw, she put us down for a nap. And this is right after my mom and my dad divorced. And she put us down for a nap, and I was laying there and I fell asleep, and I heard a voice say, "Fran, come here." And it was my mother's voice. So I got up and I went to the kitchen where it sounded like it came from. And there's my mom trying to light a match. And every time she would light a match, and she was by the stove, every time she tried to light a match, I would see something come over and blow it out. And I said, "Mom?" And she goes, "Marie, what are you doing? Get back to bed." And she lifted up the windows and started opening all the windows around the house. And I'm not sure if there was something in this house, or this was like the first time I actually saw evil, like real true evil, because it happened in this same house. So I don't know whatever took over my mom, because she tried to take my life a second time. And and I did talk to God about that when I finally myself yielded into a loving relationship with my heavenly father. And I say yielded because I finally came to the realization there is a God. Although he's always been around me, I've always had a protection around me. I always just thought it was, before I had that relationship, I always thought it was just coincidences. Everything seemed like a coincidence, you know. But my mom tried to take my life a second time. And I will tell you what I saw. And it wasn't until I asked the Lord, "Where have you been in my life?" Because when you give your life to the Lord, you're like, "Where you been?" It's like he's always been there, but you're just now noticing him,
Mm.
you know? And that's what it was like for me. And when I asked him about where he's been all my life, you remember those viewfinders where you stick a film in and you click the sides and then go one, you know?
Oh yeah, and it changes the pictures.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they came in like these little wheels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you look inside of it, and it's like, yep. It was like a viewfinder. It was like I was getting taken back in time, and it would stop in my life, portions of my life where I was saved. And it would go to the next, and the next, and next, and then brought me to when I was about 4 or 5. And this was a really traumatic thing for me. And when I realized that God was there for me, it was like he opened a part of my memory that, because you know, when people have been in through like in trauma, there's certain things in that trauma they won't remember. And for me, that was what happened. Um, but when I asked the Lord, where have you been all my life? And he brought me to that point in my life when I was about 4 or 5. I was in the tub with my sibling, and my mom kept saying, quit splashing. And I was one of those kids that wasn't really like, I wasn't aware of like my actions most of the time. And so I didn't think I was splashing. I didn't think I was getting the floor all wet. And it was upsetting my mom. And uh, the window was open in the bathroom about, I'd say maybe 2 inches. And next thing I know, all this wind came through the window into my lungs, and it was like my mouth was shut. And next thing I know, I'm underwater. I'm being held underwater, and I'm fighting and struggling, and something's putting pressure on my head, and I'm struggling, and no matter how much I tried to open my mouth, I could not open my mouth because I wanted to scream. And next thing I know, I was out of the out of the water. I stood up, and I was looking at my sibling, and her back is completely against the corner of the tub. And for years, this is all I remembered, you know? And so when I asked the Lord, I said, where were you all my life? And he brought me back to that moment. I turned to look at my mother, and her eyes were completely hollowed black. And she was reaching out. And I saw flames, like within the hollow black part. And she was reaching out like I can't explain it. Like she was reaching out, and she was shaking. And I'm staring at her, but because this is not my mother. Like the face changed, but it was the eyes, the hollow black eyes, that really got to me. And then all of a sudden, she was back like my mother again. And she took me out, brushed my hair, and she was sobbing. And I'm sobbing, because I'm still trying to, as a child, trying to register what just happened, So after, the Lord showed this to me, I called my mother, and this is around the age of 33. Called my mother, and I said, Mom, can I talk to you about something? And she said, yeah. And I said, what happened that day you tried to drown me? And I said, because I want to tell you what I saw. And I said, and I want to tell you that the Lord showed me something. And she was dead quiet. Like it was the most awkward phone conversation I had with my mother, because I had to keep checking to see on the phone if the minutes were still racking up. And I'm like, Mom, are you still there? And she's like, yeah. A couple minutes later, Mom, are you still there? She's like, yeah. And I said, Mom, please talk to me about this. And she goes, right now I'm really angry. And I said, okay. I said, why are you angry? She goes, I asked God never to let you remember that. And I said, Mom, at some point I'm going to need to heal. And I'm not the only one that needs to heal from this. Because I'm also thinking about my sibling. And she said, I went to finish the job. That's what she said to me. I went to finish the job. And I said, the job of what? She goes, I wanted to kill you so bad.
Did she ever say why?
Well, this is where I'm thinking it was a very supernatural thing. I said, what happened? And she goes, something pulled me off of you. And I wanted to go back and do, finish the job. And she said, but something was holding my wrists
Thank goodness.
and preventing me to reach you. And she said, I heard a voice 3 times say, who are you to take my child?
Wow.
3 times she heard that. And then the 3rd time, whatever had a hold of her broke. She could not, I don't even think that she could even comprehend what happened to her. But I will tell you, she was possessed.
I'm gonna tell you something. That, there are times when I've talked to people, and I'm gonna say times. This happened twice that comes to my mind of mothers. I'm just talking about mothers right now. 2 times, somebody that I've interviewed or talked to, and they were told by something to hurt their child, and one woman said she had to sit there and fight the urge to do it all the way down the highway. And she's like, I've never wanted to hit my child. But something, and she'd just been hanging out at a friend's house, right? And she said that it made her want to hurt her child. I mean, and she said it was going on for like days, and then it went away. At that point, her child was like 3 or 4. And then later on, when she was like 10 or 11, it was the first time she ever hit her. Hit was a little girl. And then there was another woman who told me that she was being spiritually oppressed in her house up in Minnesota. And she did the same thing. She said that she had this urge to just kick her child for no reason. And she's like, and I don't think I'm a bad person. I'm not, and she was trying to tell me all this stuff. And it was this demonic oppression, she feels like. And when they moved out of that off of that farmhouse, whatever that they were at, it went away. It never happened again. She moved to Iowa, back home, where she was from. But it was, it's a sad thing. But there are a ton of people who've told me that their parents were abusive. And you are not even the 12th or 15th or even probably the 20th person that said that their mother wanted to kill them. But it never ceases to amaze me and makes me feel sad. I mean, I know me and my mother had a horrible relationship for years, and I'm a very forgiving person. I forgave her for all the rotten things she did. She did a lot of rotten, terrible things. And I had to let it go. I mean, it was horrible. I remember one time my mother grabbed me and just started kicking me in the stomach, and I was a little kid. I was probably 7. I think I was 6 or 7. Because I made my sister cry. My sister's like, 5 years older than me. And she hit me, and so I hit her back. And I was a little child. My mom just started pulling my hair and kicking me. And I don't, growing up, I would tell my friends sometimes, that I didn't believe them when they said their mothers didn't hit them. I thought that was just what parents did. My dad was a lot more abusive, but my mother was pretty bad. And it hurts to sit here and listen to you talk about your mother, the person who's your caregiver, who's supposed to bring the love and light to you.
Correct.
And that is what they're the one that hurts you, and it's awful when you hear about stories about children being hurt in any way at all, but especially when it's from the people that are in charge of them, that are supposed to take care of them and do things for them and whatever. That's the worst. you know, especially when it's really just unprovoked,
Right.
you know.
Hmm. But what I saw was somebody being possessed.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Um, within that time period, I started praying for my mother, for myself, and my sister. And we all got healed from that, you know. But my mom, 2 days later, I think it was 2 days later, she went to church, gave her life to the Lord. She went on to do intercessory prayer, and let me tell you, anything that woman spoke would happen.
Mm.
So, you know, people can change, and I do believe that she was in a very vulnerable state in her life. I think her leaving my dad put fear in her heart, wondering how she's going to raise 2 children. Hence why she tried to take her lives. But she went on to better things. And when I talked to her, I told her, I said, I want to let you know that I know it wasn't you. And I said, and this is what I saw, and it wasn't you, Mom. And I want to tell you I love you and I forgive you. And during the 2 days that I was praying, I think it was the 3rd day, maybe. It was shortly after that, my sister had called me and she was in tears. And she goes, I don't know why I'm thinking about that time. And I said, can I just ask one thing? And she goes, what? I said, what were you thinking when you had your back up against the wall? And I said, and you saw this. I said, what were you thinking? And I don't know why I asked her that. And she goes, all I could think about is I'm next. I couldn't imagine the fear that she must have had watching our mother do that. And I said, you know, I want to tell you, I've been praying about this, and I believe God is bringing us into a place of healing, because that wasn't our mother that day. And I said, and this is what I was shown. And she took it as is. She cried. You know, it was the first time she ever cried, I think, about it, ever really truly thought about it, because I think a lot of times we didn't want to think about it because it was so out of my mom's character. Um, you know, she after that she never tried to take our lives, you know. I don't know if it was that house or she was just in a state of being vulnerable. I don't know, you know. I mean, when I have shared this story a couple times, and I did um share it openly one time, and I had got somebody that said, well, what about all the thousands of children and babies that die at the hands of their parents? You know, how am I to answer that? You know, and the only thing that comes up is that God saved Moses, and look at all the other Hebrew children that died during that time. But Moses was saved. I'm not God. God is sovereign. He decides, and that's how I look at it, you know. During those days I was praying, there was healing going on with my mother and with my sister, and we never brought it up after that, you know. But to hear what my mom heard, you know, who are you to take my child? She said she knew that was God talking to her. She knew it, but it wasn't until the 3rd time, whatever it was that had a hold of her, broke, you know. So it's just, it is what it is. That's a supernatural to me, a supernatural thing, paranormal thing that happened. My mom was possessed. And it's not the first time I've seen people possessed, you know? So, but to have somebody so close to you, you know, that's that's a little earth, you know, that's earth shaking, to have that type of experience. So, when I start to add up all the times that I've been protected, um, it kind of, I'm trying to think of the word. The confidence level that I have now in my prayers and my walk with God is to the point of not being shakable. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You walk through the fire and you
right.
come out hardened on the other side.
Absolutely.
We're being smithed and we're being tempered, and that's
Mhm.
what I feel like I went through. And it's funny when you said Isaiah 9:2. I know that passage. And when you referred to that, I know that I dwelled in the darkness for 7 years.
Mhm.
I was hardcore walking through the darkness. And God
Mhm.
pulled me out. He just said, "Hey, time to go." And I'm like, "Why did I do that? Did I even endure all that? Why did I do that?" I think God wanted me to see
Mhm.
how the dark side works. There it is, right there.
Mhm.
And
Exactly. Exactly.
it was very. I was a very potent spiritually, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm fortunate that I didn't get killed.
Mhm.
But God, I think He had my back because I had things to do. I think God wanted me to do things. And,
Mhm.
if you don't do what He wants, He'll force His will. It's going to happen. I mean,
Mhm.
that's like Jonah and the whale. I mean, that's the story. You're going to have to do it.
Mhm.
It's not really your choice. A lot of
Right.
people think that they're born into this world and they can just do whatever they. No, a lot of times you're born in this world for a reason. You're sent here for a reason.
Mhm.
If you study numbers like I do, then you know that
I
sevens
do.
have a purpose. A
Mhm.
7 life path as a teacher. I'm a 7,
Mhm.
and here I am. And this started out as a hobby,
Mhm.
and now it's turned into like something else. I don't know what it is. What is it's a show,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but we talk about all kinds of stuff. And one thing leads to another. And there's
Right.
this evolution that takes place, within our souls, our minds, and our hearts, our bodies. And you're here now.
Mhm.
It was last night too, and I'm going to say this, and people can say, "Well, he says that after the fact," and they'll stand in judgment of me like all Pharisees do. But this is the truth. I'll tell you, if you watch last night's show, folks, I fought really hard to get Frances to come back on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I even offered to pay for your babysitter, return it to be your daughter.
Mhm.
I did, and I felt like there was something that needed to be said tonight, and we hadn't talked before about this.
Yeah, we couldn't even find your email.
Yeah, your email was gone, and that's another weird thing. I went home and I looked, and it was not. And you know how we put it in the folders?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I looked at myself because I'm like, no offense, but like I'm better with the tech stuff, and finding emails
Okay,
and
shut
stuff.
up, dude. That's
well,
not what
I'm
this is
saying,
about. Let's
but I
toot
couldn't
our
even.
own horns.
Point is, I couldn't even find it, so it just wasn't there.
This guy.
And it very much could have been a typo on my end too, but I mean,
No, I'm
but
sure you did everything
when
fine,
you're,
Francis.
but it's true though, when you start to tell on the dark side of things
Uh-huh.
and you start exposing how they work, they do everything they can not to get you to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
because
I
you're
mean,
educating people.
there are people, and not just one. I mean, like these. There's people who are. I mean, not just one either. There's like a cabal who are working overtime, night and day, to try to tear this show down, to tear us apart, to tear us down. And I can't even do anything but laugh at them because it's not. It won't happen. I was being interviewed the other day from somebody, and they were asking me, questions about, the show and whatever. And I guess it was kind of like a job interview. I didn't really know what it was at the time, but it was for a TV show. It was and he was kind of asking me questions, and he's like, "Well, if you do this, what are you going to do with your pod?" I said, "The podcast comes first, always. The show comes before all of this, whatever this is. I don't even know what this is." I said, "Yeah, So that's it. So there was no negotiation really at that point. I was like, I'm not going to give up anything, and I'm not going to sign anything that's a non-compete, whatever, blah blah blah. And he was like, well, where do you see yourself in this many years and blah, blah, blah. And it kind of got like, I was like, I don't know. Alive, dead, I don't know. What does it matter?
Spider-Man? Oh.
Spider-Man. But it got to this one point where he was, kind of asking me like, about the show and how I feel like, it's going to evolve and be, what is it going to be? And I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be. And I don't care. I mean, I just, and he says, if your show were to be, if you were to lose, all your followers, and then you were to fall down into I forgot the words he used or whatever. And I say, it won't, it won't happen. That, it's like, he said, yeah, but hypothetically, if it did. And I said, it's not going to.
You were not going to walk in agreement with that.
I'm like, what are you trying to get me to say? Like he's trying to get me to agree to something.
Absolutely.
And he's like, well, here in New York, we do things. I'm not in New York. I'm in Texas. And I said, he goes, well, if you were to come to New York, I said, I'm not going to go there. So I don't know. You can piss off, go piss down someone else's back. I tell him it's raining. I don't know. What do you want? I mean, and I'm sure he got aggravated with me, and it doesn't, who cares? It doesn't matter. I mean, I know I have a very clear vision of what I see. And, I thought it was very important to have you on. And see, now you were going to leave and we were going to try to record. And then you started talking about some other stuff that's very poignant. There's that word again. But it was important, and I think, and people can say whatever they want. It doesn't really matter. I just don't like when people attack my wife or my people, my nephews or my listeners. I don't give a crap what you say about me. They can crucify me with their words every day. They're not going to hurt my feelings. They're not going to make me whatever, it's not going to happen. I mean, they're not going to run me off, and it's not going to stop me. We have things to do here, and so, it was, yeah, you were right. He was trying to get me to walk in agreement with something and say, well, let's just envision you failing. And then when you're crawling around like a worm, what do you, it's not going to happen. It's like, you can say that, but what you think, and folks, this is most important. What you think is what becomes. So, yeah, if you walk in agreement with the trash and that people say and spew, you become it. And I refuse to become that. I refuse to walk in agreement with trash, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not saying this guy was trash. I'm just saying that I don't know if he knew what he was doing or not.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to. Yeah, see, audacious ambitions, as a man thinketh, so shall he be. See, that's the thing.
There you go.
I don't think like that. Like when they would ask me questions, like when I played baseball, I had a pretty good coach, and my dad was absolutely a good baseball player. He was a really good ball player. He was very athletic, and he told me, he says, you got to envision hitting the ball. And I asked him, my first year playing ball, we didn't have T-ball. I was 6, and they made us play fast-pitch baseball with the older kids. The town I lived in had the retardation, and they made us do that. I got 1 hit the whole year, and I was very discouraged, and I didn't want to play again the next year. My dad said, if you don't play again, you won't get any better. But there were 4th graders throwing the ball really fast at us, and it was scary to me. And the next year, I got several hits, and the next year, I got better and better and better. So when the younger guys would come up, and I was already like Pony Colt, I would tell them, like, how do you hit so well? My batting average was always over 400. And I told them I envision it. I envision hitting the ball. But to this day, science cannot really explain how someone, like let's just say Jose Altuve from the Astros, like how does he hit that ball off of Max Scherzer, one of these hard-throwing pitchers? How does he do it? because it shouldn't happen. By all rights of science and physics, that little ball should not be getting hit when it's being thrown 97 miles an hour and it's curving and jumping around. Those batters should not be making contact. And that's why a hitter that can hit 330 is considered a good hitter. That's a good hitter.
Yeah.
And that's like you're only hitting the ball
Third of the time.
And so there you go, Cynthia, manifesting. So you manifest what you want and it shall be so. But if you sit there and go, well, these people are going to do this, I don't, F those people. I don't know what those people are doing, and I don't give a crap. They're going to say and do and spin and twist and try to stay relevant. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care, because if I give them any kind of breathing oxygen, whatever, then they take it, I mean, the only time I ever do is if I'm protecting my people. And at this point now, I think everybody pretty much knows where we're at. They know who we are, and they can choose to listen or not listen. But and those people that they take away to not listen, they're hurting them, because the people are here to hear what you're saying. They need to hear this, what you're talking about, Francis. That's why it just happened the way it did. That you ended up staying and you're talking about what needs to be said. And I think what I said needed to be said, and I think it's very important. And there are people who absolutely hate my guts. They hate us, period. And they can't even tell you why. Like, some people will have these flimsy reasons, and then other people, they're just like, well, I just hate them, and they hem-hawed about it, and they can make up a million reasons or not have one. They just hate. And there's nothing you can do to change them. Their heart is hardened.
Yep.
And it's evil. It is an evil thing. And they lie, and then they accuse you of lying, because that's the communist playbook.
It's projecting.
It's projecting, yeah. But if you allow that projection, and like you said, if you walk with that, then that's what becomes. So this guy that was doing this sort of interview, which I didn't even know I was in an interview, he was asking me, what I felt about the future, what PRT, whatever. And I said, we'll have 1 million subscribers. I mean, who knows? And he's like, do you really believe that? I said, I believe, yeah, I'm confident. He goes, well, you're very cocky. You're very confident. I said, well, that's not arrogance. It's not cocky. That's me being sure of myself. Confidence is something different. He used both, to try to, But I just said that, look, you're confident in your job and your ability. He says, sure. I said, yeah, exactly. You're sure of yourself. You're sure of your ability to turn me against myself and become one of your puppets. And I'm convinced that you're not going to put your hand up my butt and make my mouth work. And he goes, well, I guess we're done here. I said, I guess we are. See ya. And then, he went and told this friend of mine that had, I guess, got him to call me. He was like, what happened? And I'm like, well, I didn't know I was being interviewed for anything. And I really don't give a crap. I'm not the guy for that. I'm just not the guy. I mean, and I know that that's not my purpose. My purpose is to be here. And sometimes it's tiring. Sometimes it's tedious. Sometimes I'm so exhausted from work. I've been late starting the show all week because we've just been slammed with work. We've had people calling off. We've had people going in and out of the hospital like crazy. One lady fell off of a ladder. What was it? The other one of them got COVID. Another one ended up with the pneumonia. Another one ended up with the flu. It was all different.
Yeah.
Another one was in a car wreck. I mean, and it's been nuts, man. And then Kiem had the stones.
Yeah, kidney stones.
So it's just like one thing after another, and it's just fluke stuff, weird stuff, and so, I know that it's a spiritual warfare, and it's kept us bound up, wound up, stressed out, and it's kept us, on edge, and we're not able to get to the show. And yesterday I almost canceled, and I just told Nellie, I said, I can't do it. I have to do it. I have to be there. It feels like we're in a time where we need to be here.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what these other people do or say or what the hell. I don't give a crap. I don't, You know, I mean, somebody messaged me earlier and I was just like, I don't care. I mean, I don't give a rat's ass what they do.
Right.
You know, I mean, if they want to put on a juggling act and, you know, whatever makes your choo-choo run, man, you know, I mean, that's what we have lawyers for, to deal with stuff like that. So I'm not even worried. But a lot of this stuff, though, is demonically influenced because that's, you don't act that way unless something is driving you.
Right.
Whether it's a man, you know, that's driving you to do these things, or you're being driven by something demonic, or those men are being driven by something demonic, a man or woman, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, you know? And so I just feel like, you know, like last night, something resonated with you, you know, with me, that you should be on here. And I told Anthony that last night when we left the studio. I told you too, Tony. I was like, she needs to be on the show. We need to have her on. And I was very worried that it was going to be too late because we were getting in late. And on the way up here, I was telling these guys, I said, I hope that she's able to do it because I thought it was very important, you know. And now you're talking about things that are very important.
Well, you know what's interesting that you're saying that, because I called she had plans tonight to do she does card games.
Mm-hmm.
And I called her and I told her, I said, you know, I said, somebody was kind enough, you should have seen, I said, you should have seen some of the things that were being said on the live stream. And I said, is there a time you can babysit for me so I can record with Josh? And she goes, this is really important for you, isn't it, Mom? And I said, well, I said, I just feel like I need to share this stuff because it's, you know, everybody should leave a testimony about how God has affected their life and what he's done, and the possibilities of what it is to have a relationship with God, because it's almost limitless. And so she's like, you know what? She goes, I'll come watch him so you can go ahead and talk to him. I said, really? She goes, yeah. So her friend came over here and brought their card games, and she's watching the little one right now, you know. So you know, everybody has an appointed time for stuff, and I just felt like for her to do that, and now you're saying that, to be it was what she was saying, you know. It just sounds like you really need to be there. And I said, well, do you mind if I share our story? She goes, no, I don't mind, just don't mention my name. I said, no, I wouldn't do that, you know.
No.
And there's reasons for that too, you know, the protection of my children.
A lot of people don't want their names. So that's why I just use aliases. And I always tell people to be vague about I don't even usually give the places, you know, exact locations of anything, because you just shouldn't do it. No,
And
it's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think I understand why now. I will, if you have time, I can tell you about the 2 angel dreams and the warfare involved with that.
Oh man, I would love to. We're approaching the 3-hour mark, and I have to do my first round at midnight. Or Tony does, and he rode with me, or otherwise I'd say yeah, and we could do that and come back, but I don't think the audience is going to be here when we come. By the time we go do the hit at the hotel and then come back, there's no way.
Yeah.
Because we have somebody doing the patrol right now, and they do the pool lockups at 10, and then from 10 to 12, they do all the early stuff, and then we got to go relieve them because this person, like I said, we're shorthanded, and they have to go to another site once we relieve them at midnight. We're going to be late. Great. But yeah, we got in late. It's our fault. It's our bad. But we do need to do the giveaway. I would like to record, though, and we could rehash some of this stuff and go and put it on the podcast. The podcast gets like 3 times as many people, actually. But dude, yeah, for sure. If you're down to do that, you know, whenever you got time, I'll try to make time. We'll figure it out. You know, if it's God's will, it'll happen. Believe me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so somebody says, Wolf, you've been here 2 hours. No, we've been here for 3. We've been here for 3. So let's. Can you help us with the giveaway, Francis? Like I said, just send us your information, and we'll send you something.
Okay.
And you can help pick people. So, folks, if you're not a member, you still have time to join and be a member. And it's $5, and then you can enter into the giveaway that we're about to do. We do it every Sunday. Okay. And so we're gonna have Francis. We're gonna let her pick somebody too. In fact, let's just put it all on Francis. She picks everybody, so nobody's mad at us.
Yeah.
I always feel like people are mad at me if I don't pick them.
It's time for
pressure.
someone else to take all that anger.
Take all
for
that anger and
change.
frustration on us.
Why don't you take it off our shoulders for us?
She can take it.
Francis?
She's a warrior of light. She's got this. You got this, Francis.
So how do I pick?
Well, so you're going to look at the screen, and if you look in everybody's name that's in green, they'll be in green because they're members. This is what we do for the members because
Or like you'll probably have to check the live chat on your phone.
yeah,
Like right now the chat is set to members only, and so the members, their name is going to appear in green, and you'll see how some of them are saying that they've never won. So those are the people eligible to be picked.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing anybody on my screen at all.
Yeah, it's not going to be on your screen on your end. If you wouldn't mind just pulling it up on your phone or
maybe you can just pull YouTube up on your phone.
yeah.
Summerside of Life says, I won, but have not got anything yet. No emails saying I won. When were you picked, Summerside?
So, Summerside, if you won, like you have to send us an email with your mailing
Yeah,
information.
you have to send us your information. And if we haven't done the mail offs for we do it every 2 weeks. So we haven't done a mail off last Sunday, but we're going to do it tomorrow or Tuesday. Well, tomorrow, probably Tuesday, we'll be mailing off. Tooth Shadow says, I've won, but nothing yet. So that's 2 people there. Did you win last Sunday? So resend your information to Josh Turner. You can see at the top of the screen at prtpodcast.com.
Yeah, I'm not.
Tony, grab me an
able to-
18.
Do what?
I'm not able to pull the live chat on for some reason
okay.
on this one.
Hmm.
This one.
Kate Hunter, you haven't won, Kate? Kate hasn't won? Well, I picked Kate. I mean, if you haven't won, Kate, that's...
I second that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kate's always donating and helping out. Oh, right here, go ahead.
We're doing 3 of them?
Yes. And so, so Kate, I picked Kate. Kate, send me your information and you got it. You're my pick. And so Anthony.
Kate Hunter or Katie Finner?
Katie Finnerty?
Yeah.
Where's she at? Katie has not either. Okay. Who do you pick, Tony? Who's your pick? I think Anthony needs to go last. He's been so mean to us this episode. Exceptionally mean.
Or anally today.
Poor babies.
Analically or whatever.
They only knew what we went through. Help us.
We all do need help,
I'm
that's for
gonna
damn sure.
choose
Anybody?
Adrian walking unalived.
Is there anybody whose name starts with an L?
Let me see.
Don't see an L.
Anyone who hasn't won whose name starts with an L. Lakota Angels already won.
Yeah, look over the one.
Yeah. Steampunk's been trying to win for a while. What about that one?
What's he at?
Right there.
she-
Steampunk 369 has not won.
Okay. Okay, well, congratulations, Steampunk 369.
Well, hold on. Tony has not had his pick yet.
Yeah, I did.
Who did you pick?
I picked Adrian walking unalived.
Okay, what about Katie Finnerty? I thought you were going to pick her.
I thought you picked her.
No, I picked Kate Hunter.
No, he just mentioned her to tease her and make her feel bad.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. There's 4 of us, so we'll each have one. So Let me give you some names. Adrian walking unalived. So Tony already picked him. So Katie. It's between Katie and who else? There was another one that was wanting to get picked. Oh, the one you just said. Steampunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexander McQuaid. So there's 3 people there you can choose from. We're putting it on you.
Okay, Alexander.
Okay, Alexander won. All right, so we have Alexander McQuaid. You won. Who else? Tony picked Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked Kate Hunter. I tell you what, I'm going to say Kate that shouldn't be a pick. That should be somebody we just give something to because she's done so much. So Katie, you just tell us what you want and we'll give it to you. Period. Name the books you want. You want my autograph books? I'll send them to you too. Okay, and whatever. And then if you would like, Anthony, you can pick. Who did you pick?
Steampunk 369.
Steampunk 369. So we got Steampunk 369, we got Alexander, and then we got Adrian. Those 3. And then Kate Hunter, we're not going to count her, but then so there'll be 4 altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Katie Finnerty since Tony did you dirty, Katie. See how Tony is? You see how they are, right? You see
I'm going to pick Katie in the end.
You see how I'm working?
Sure.
See what I'm working with? These mean little spirited turds. And the people have the nerve to say, he's mean to them. You can tell they're scared of him.
They're
so scared they stole my truck and went joyriding. They were terrified.
Hey, Adrian, I'm still on your side.
They went and ate pizza for 3 hours, and then you know what? They just decided to go to the movies, too. They said, we were going to bring it back when we got tired of driving it.
I got you, Adrian. These people don't care about you.
Can I have my 18? I asked this guy for 18. He would give it to me.
18.
You were in there getting a drink.
He's going to sit there and say, no, you didn't, even though it's recorded right here on the...
Well, there's deep fakes.
Yeah.
They do that. They can do that now. That's scary. That's scary as hell, actually. They have you saying all kinds of crap. But, yeah, so anyway, that's what we got to do. We got to run. So let's go over it one more time. Kate Hunter, send me your information, joshturnerprtpodcast.com. Katie Finnerty, I got you. Adrian Walking Unalived, okay, we got you. And then we have Alexander.
And then...
Alexander McQuaid. Right? And then
Steampunk 369.
Steampunk 369. So there's 5 people. Look at that. 5 people we did. See? Nice. We're very nice people. Go and say that. Spread the word. We are nice.
Let the people know.
People at PRT are the real heroes. Okay? They're like, my dad fought in World War II. I know, but I have a podcast, and I am a nice guy. Okay? Not taking anything away from your dad, but, did he have PRT? No, he did not.
Now
Now they're going to go and say, he was talking against the veterans. Whatever. I love veterans. I love everybody.
we're a nice cult.
But if you are a veteran, thank you for your service. We appreciate it here at PRT. We really do. And the 4th of July is coming up, and even though I like Texas a lot, and I would like for us to be our own country, it doesn't mean I have anything against the United States. I love the United States, and I hope it lasts forever. So long live the United States. But remember, as an American, a lot of people don't like us. And sometimes we give them reasons not to, but I'm not going to sit up here and be one of those people that's like, well, we deserve to be hated because we're bad. Nah, shut up. Go hate somewhere else if you're going to do that bullshit. That's not happening here. So thank you, Katie, or Kate Hunter. Thank you for the donation. And the other people that donated, it doesn't give us a readout on here because we're not on StreamYard.
Let's see. We got it right here.
We have Mike Turner, my brother from another mother, Michigan Rob, Miguel Guetta, John Villafranca. I hadn't seen you in a while, John. And then Dale Pendergash became a new member, and so did Shauna. Thank you for that. And then Miss Holly Jean became a member. Dr. Fox, thank you for the donation. Our fathers, I think it's
our father's child.
Child, yes, thank you. Cynthia, Shade Viking, always the clown. Nathan Purr, and Audacious Amber. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. We appreciate it. PRT, Paranormal Roundtable family, we're strong. And we're only going to get stronger, and it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this, okay? I don't care. These people were messaging me. I don't care what they say. I don't give a rat's ass what they say. The bottom line is this. People come here to be entertained and to learn and to have fun, and we have a good time, and this is a free form of entertainment. Okay? Thanks to donations from people in the audience, we can keep it free and it's clear of a paywall. Okay? And we do giveaways because we like to give stuff away. That's it. So, I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter. Okay? People can still lie through their teeth and say that they're telling the truth. You can pee on someone and say it's raining. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make it true. You can scream till your ears bleed. It doesn't make it true. Okay? The truth is the truth. All right? And I know this. People say and do things out of anger. And when they say, hey, I forgive you, that should be the end of it. But other people want to make something of it. Let them make it. Let them make whatever they want to make. Go bake a blueberry pie and
It don't matter. None of this matters.
None of it. Stick your face in the blueberry pie. We don't care. Two Shadows, thank you for that. Two Shadows and Summer Side of Life. I sent another email. She says header is Summer Side of Life. I don't know if it's a male or female. Sorry if I don't, whatever. But yeah, thank you. And you guys need to resend your information so you can get this stuff sent to you. If you don't send me the email, joshturner@prtpodcast.com, I won't be able to give you your stuff. And a lot of people do that. They wait too long to send it, then it gets jumbled up, and then we forget it. There were 3 people from last Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. And now we have 5 today, and then 2 that say they didn't get their stuff. We'll look into that, and then we'll send it all out. This is for a shirt giveaway. So send your size. Now, if it comes back that we don't have your size, because that may happen. We have a new shirt order coming in. It's supposed to be ready. It's supposed to be ready Friday. Well, actually, I think it was. We just did go pick it up. But it will be ready this week, I'm sure, because we have shirts for our company, too, to have to be ready. So we will pick it up, and then we'll get it done, and you will get your shirt. So we should have your size. And wait till you see the new shirts when we show you what they look like. They're going to be nice. And don't forget Monday, tomorrow night, I'm interviewing a guy about Dogman. We're gonna do a Dogman interview live, 6 p.m. To 8 p.m. And then we're gonna be doing 6 p.m. right? 6 p.m. And then Tuesday we're gonna do an hour-long podcast episode. Mm-hmm. And then Wednesday, I'm doing something on Wednesday with our Tex. I think Tex either said this Wednesday or next Wednesday. He's starting a new show he's going to do on Wednesdays.
Oh, cool.
And so he wanted me to be on there as a guest or something. I don't know. I got to get the details. And then Thursday, we're going to do Rumble. We're going to do a July 4th Rumble episode. Okay. So check out that. That's going to come on Thursday night. I think it's at 7, right? It's only for an hour. It's going to be an hour. So that's going to happen on Rumble at 7 o'clock, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I might actually be on bugging you all week. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to be good. We have a lot of stuff we got to talk about. We have so many stories, and we still have not done the Elves of Inner Earth. That was another one. So she messaged me about that and was like, "Why have you not done it?" And I said, "Because we suck. I'm sorry.
We're terrible.
We're terrible. We're terrible." Mm-hmm. So thank you, Francis. Mm-hmm. So how old is the little one? How old is your little one?
On July 4th, he'll be 5.
Oh, July 4th, baby. That's awesome.
And I'm a New Year's baby.
That's crazy. And you're a Gen Xer having a 5-year-old. That's cool. So at least we know he'd be raised right. Not raised by one of these millennials that'll teach him to be confused as hell.
Right.
You know? You can actually breathe water if you want to. Yeah, just do it. Breathe it. Yeah, it's all good. Josh Turner said, whatever you believe, you can do it. Like on that Key and Peele skit, you can literally fly. Literally. Just literally. Do whatever you want.
It's okay to drink from the hose.
Well, we did.
I mean, I did.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, my parents practically locked me out of the house. They were like, it's go outside and play. You're like, it's 104. Well, it'll be 99 later on. Just go.
If you're going to go outside, then
so
you stay
true.
outside.
Don't be
If you
weak.
go inside, then you got to stay
Come
inside.
on.
None of this going in and out.
Yeah. That's why you have to drink from the hose.
Run out my light
Can't even
bill.
go inside to get water, or else you're going to
Running
be
up the light
forced to
bill.
stay inside.
That's what it is, though. That's the problem right there. The kids aren't tough. We had BB gun wars, and we were aiming for the privates and the eyes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how else were you supposed to take them out? It's not like you're going to.
I was like
really
not doing that at first, and my friends were doing that, and I'm like, are we supposed to do that? Because that doesn't sound right. And they're like, you're a sissy. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. I'm going to put somebody's eye out. Never got to, though.
The point was to stop them from having any more people to be able to shoot back.
See,
You can't do that with BB guns.
You got to take them. You got to take out the vitals. All right, guys. Thank you, and thank you to Francis. And we are going to get together and record. And thank you for being on the show and making PRT what it is. We appreciate that. Let's play it out.
Sounds great. All right. You all have a good night.
Yeah,
Bye,
you
Francis.
too.
Good night.
Peace.